Welcome to the European Cricket Network, where we have a blockbuster encounter today. USA taking on the Netherlands here in Utrecht Kampong Cricket Club. It's going to be a mouth-watering encounter, and all the action starts right now. Great to have you with us on the ECN European Cricket Network for a really mouth-watering encounter between USA and the Netherlands. Now, first things first, I know you're all thinking about the weather after yesterday's washout between Canada and USA. Look, the covers are on right now, but good news, we aren't expecting any rain and we should get a full T20 match. And that's really exciting because these two teams in the T20 arena, I think, are going to be quite evenly matched after the heroics of USA at the World Cup. It was Aaron Jones with the bat. He lit it up at the World Cup. Everyone was talking about him the whole time. Hopefully he can light it up today. For the Netherlands, they're playing very good cricket the last couple of years. We know they've got a lot of depth. Maybe Brandon Glover gets a debut today. Oh, well, not a debut, he comes into the side today. We'll have to sort and see what combination they go. Maybe Aryan Dutt will come into the side, whereas the USA, they're going to rely on Jesse Singh to take a couple of wickets and see if they can make some inroads into that very good top order for the Netherlands. Conditions should be pleasant for cricket. We're expecting the sun to come out through the clouds soon enough, and I'm really excited for this game. It's the same pitch that we've played on in the first sort of 2 games of this series, but credit to the Kampong ground stuff. It is firm, it is hard, and I'm thinking 180 might be par today. But anyway, nothing from me. Let's get to the toss with the 2 captains and Andrew Leonard.
Time for the toss, and what a difference a day makes after a heavy thunderstorm last night. The sun is out and we're all set for play in this match number 3 of the ICC T20I series. Netherlands taking on USA today. Scott Edwards, joined by Manak Patel and ICC match referee, Mr. Phil Thompson. Scotty, give the coin a toss there. Heads is called and it comes down a head. Manak, you won the toss. What are you going to do, please, and why?
We'll bowl first. We played yesterday here, it looks like a good batting track, and once we know what we're chasing on the board, we can plan it out and chase it down.
Yesterday, this pitch came under quite a lot of water, didn't it? Is that part of the consideration to have a ball first, try and exploit any movement early?
Not really. It looks a bit dry. It's not that there's nothing, there's no damp or nothing. So we just want to make sure that we restrict them under a good score and chase it down.
Okay, you haven't managed to beat the Netherlands yet on this trip. You've never beaten them in your history. Is today the day?
Yeah, of course. As I said earlier, also we want to play the best cricket and continue playing throughout this 18 months before the World Cup, and it's a good opportunity for us today.
Okay, final question. Any changes to your team?
No, we're playing with the same team.
Okay, Manak, best of luck. Manak Patel choosing to have a bowl first. Scotty, you're just not going to win a toss on this tour, none and 6 now. What would you have done though if you had won the toss?
Yeah, to be honest, we would have had a bat. So yeah, I think it's obviously been played on a little bit now. So yeah, hopefully it slows down in that second innings with the spinners we've got in.
I know you were watching yesterday and you only live around the corner. It was carnage, wasn't it, with that thunderstorm, 30 minutes. We're actually on the same pitch. Is that a concern for you?
No, not really. I think we had a look at it today, and luckily it's been a good day today. So I think it's looks pretty good from what we can see. But yeah, it was looked pretty chaotic out there.
Yeah, it really was. USA, brilliant World Cup. Are you going to try and show them now in this format that you're still the king of the associates?
Yeah, I suppose. I think for us, we just want to play our brand of cricket and against whoever we come up against. As you said, they've been playing a lot of good T20 cricket recently. So yeah, good challenge for us. Yeah, one that we're looking forward to.
Final question, any changes from your team 2 days ago?
Yeah, 2 changes. We've got Aryan Dutt and Noah Crows coming in for Viv and Saqib.
Okay, Scotty, nice to see you. Thank you. That's the news from the middle. Manak Patel, USA, they've won the toss. They're going to have a ball first.
Thank you very much, Andrew Leonard. Brilliant as always, and a warm welcome to everyone around the world, wherever you're watching from, whether it's on Willow TV or also with us on the ECN European Cricket Network. Really looking forward to today's encounter. These two teams obviously have played a lot of good T20 cricket in the last sort of 12 to 18 months, and today they'll be facing each other out here in Utrecht in the centre of the Netherlands. We'll have a quick look at the 2 lineups and a couple of changes for the Dutch today as I welcome back my co-commentator Andrew Leonard. Some big changes. Noah Kroos comes in to fill in at number 6, and very interesting as well, it looks like they're not going to replace Vivian Kingma with another seamer. Aryan Dutt comes into the team.
Yeah, I was probably a bit surprised not to see Aryan Dutt in the first match for the Netherlands, given how
just how consistent he's been with the ball. And also, I'm not 100% sure whether they read this pitch correctly. We ended up with quite a lot of egg in our face in that first game. This is the same wicket that had all that water on it yesterday, and at one end in particular, it looks very, very green to me. I thought Brandon Glover might play, but instead they've gone with the extra spinner.
Well, at the moment, you've gone out there, you've had a close look at the wicket. You came in, you said there was a bit of wetness on, but the two captains, they both said they're pretty confident it's going to be a good batting surface. You're a little bit more apprehensive.
I thought all men were colourblind, but maybe just those two. There's a huge green tinge to it. There really is. This is what the supercomputer reckons, 58% favourites, the Netherlands. That's probably fair, particularly when you think of the fact the USA, across any format, any senior men's international, they've never beaten the Dutch. Isn't that an amazing stat?
It's an amazing stat, but maybe today's the day. They're a very, very good lineup. And look, they were playing a good game of cricket against Canada yesterday. Unfortunately, it was washed out. The game was abandoned. That storm that hit us yesterday was, well, pretty violent, to be fair. So credit to all the ground staff. We watched the ground staff yesterday. It wasn't really on our pitches because we had to evacuate because of all the cause, but they did a fantastic job. Phenomenal. Considering we could have lost the whole square there in that 30-minute pour. It was heavy.
We did lose our commentary marquee. That has gone off to commentary marquee heaven. It's taken a very lengthy, it nearly took a flight to marquee heaven. The wind, and the most remarkable part about it, Corey, was it was actually all over in 20 minutes. Yeah, it had stopped raining.
It was that heavy, it was that violent that unfortunately, the game couldn't continue. And USA will be disappointed because I think they were ahead yesterday versus Canada. But thankfully, credit to everyone at Camp On Cricket Club. It's a lot of volunteers going to it. They've got the surface ready, they've got the square ready, and we've got a good game of cricket coming live in a couple moments.
They were here at the crack of dawn this morning as well, so a phenomenal effort to get either one of the two surfaces dry enough for a full men's T20I international here, which is exactly what we have. And I think it's going to be fascinating to see how it plays. We saw really high scores in the first 3 innings that were played on it. Didn't get to see the fourth because of that thunderstorm yesterday. But you just wonder whether it will be the same. I think if the bowlers get it right from the pavilion end, not from this end, this wouldn't be the end I've got concerns with. It looks perfectly dry at this end. But as you'll get a look at the pitch in a moment, you'll see there's quite a lot of kind of lush green grass that's sprouted up overnight. And maybe the seamers will have a bit of a field day from the other end, from the pavilion end.
Well, looks like we're going to see all the big contests about to kick-start. Drysdale's got the new ball. He's going to be bowling to Levitt. And Levitt was in imposing form the other day. A marvellous 50 versus Canada. Drysdale, I thought, bowled magnificently yesterday versus Canada also. So, big contest early. First ball of this T20I.
Driven down the ground. Like I said, no problems from this end, particularly when it's that full. Nitish Kumar chases in vain. Maybe a sign of things to come. Levitt, just a push, no more than that, gets 4.
What a beautiful shot to start this match. It was over-pitched and maybe a little bit disappointed. Drysdale, they didn't get a hand on that. Races away. The outfield looks a little slower, I'd have to say, after the heavy rain yesterday. What a brilliant shot, though. And 4 to open the account.
I thought Drysdale, I'd fully agree with what you said there, Corey. The spell he bowled yesterday showed how rich a potential he brings. This time short and wide. 2 T20Is in 2 days is a different case for someone who's just new to the international game. Bang, bang, what a start. 4-4.
This one's shorter, wider. Just had to catch up with it, and Levitt's in red-hot form. The other day, he really favoured that mid-wicket zone against the Canadian seamers. But I tell you what, he's as strong as ever over the offside also. A couple of boundaries to kickstart this match. Could be a high-scoring affair. It'll all depend on how the other end plays.
And you've got to trust the ground staff, don't you? If they assess the 2 potential pitches and they think, okay, this is the better one. If you just kind of stay on this camera, well, you can probably see from back of a length, you can just see the shapes, can't you, of where the water came in. That's why it's much greener there. And then if you bowl full at this end, Levitt's now just patting down the pitch. I think the batters will have to make merry, and again they'll be hitting with the wind. So Drysdale can't get too full and he can't get too wide.
Yeah, small margins in the T20 form as well. So a couple of changes here. It looks like thirds come into the ring and have a deep cover point. So covering the square boundaries, deep backward square in place also. Levitt's looking dangerous early.
Better length, much better length. Certainly Drysdale has shown the potential. I think Stuart Law in particular, the USA head coach, who's had such a big impact since coming into the role, taking over, well, in theory from Jagadish Arun Kumar, but in reality actually it is his bowling coach Kevin Darlington who was doing the role on an interim basis for the best part of a year. Kevin Darlington's not on this tour. He was unable to make it due to some commitments, but he will be back, I think, for the tour in Namibia. As Levitt now goes over the leg side. Don't think you can bowl full, particularly at this end, and it's 3 boundaries in the first 5 deliveries. Well, this youngster, 21 years of age, he looks completely at home in the international arena.
And you've seen the best of him, Lenny. I know you were commentating out there in Nepal when he lit it up with that amazing score of north of 130, made a 50 in the final in that tri-series with Nepal and Namibia. And really, Netherlands have found an opener for many years, you'd imagine. He's aggressive, he's powerful, but he also just seems like he's got time at the crease. Never seems too hurried or flustered. Brilliant start from him.
Also looks to me as though might be somebody that franchises might be starting to already have a little think about, primarily because of his ball striking. This one's edged away. It's come off the toe of the bat. Drysdale can't quite believe it. And a fan perfectly placed in a Levitt jersey. How brilliant's that? When he came today, he was hoping to maybe meet Michael Levitt. He's just been hit a 4 by him.
And that's the beauty of these grounds here in the Netherlands. If you are in the area of Utrecht, come down and watch, because that's a great picture. 16 for none after 1. Come down, want to see your superstar players, the people you look up to, and then you field a ball off him. Isn't that fantastic?
Free entry as well. You can't argue
course.
with that. Yeah, we had a really good crowd 2 days ago when the Dutch were in action. And they're off to a sensational start. 16 have come from that first over. There is definitely the factor, and all the sides will have to do it throughout this tri-series, of playing twice in 2 days. Whatever level of cricket you're at, whether it's a T20 and ODI, or back-to-back days of a test match, it does tire you out, fatigues you, both mentally and physically. And USA have just started a bit sloppily. Yesterday, bowled 4 overs for 21. His first over's gone for 16, Drysdale. As we'll see, Kenjigay open the bowling from the pavilion end. And immediately, Max O'Dowd shows there's plenty of runs from this end too. It's going to be chased down by Jahangir, and he does well to save 1 run. He's got 47 on. He's wearing that Ali Khan imitation shirt. Still hasn't got his number 30 on his back.
No, not yet. And lovely timing from O'Dowd, who uncharacteristically the other day was 0 off 11 versus Canada, but not today. Runs off his very first delivery, and a really bright start here from the team in orange, Netherlands. They've had a very good tour. The ODI series obviously undefeated against these 2 other touring nations, and have really started brightly here. Yes, they lost the toss, but you heard Scott say they were going to have a bat also. So how many can they get?
And surprise for me, if you look at the surface, you would have thought a seamer would have wanted to bowl from this end. And Van Schalkwyk, with all his experience, who just fielded the ball, thought he would have been given the new ball, but USA sticking to their plans. They don't see anything in the pitch.
Yeah, and so far, I haven't seen any gremlins either, so could be a day for runs. It's been threatening this series in the T20s anyway to be quite high scoring.
Don't think it's going to be as easy scoring from this end. That'd be my sense. You see, just a little slower, isn't it? All that area there, you can just see the shape of where the thunderstorm came in from the west side, isn't it? That's, I think that's the west side.
Yeah, it came from the west side. Yeah, you can see just that little bit of smattering of green over that spot. But so far, for me, Netherlands are playing it pretty well.
Levitt is playing it very well. Look out in the crowd. First maximum of the day. Is it going to be the first of many? Levitt off to a flyer, so too the Dutch.
Yeah, he's off on an absolute heater. It was back of a length, angled in, trying to cramp him for room. And you've got to keep your wits end about you if you are in the crowd. That is a hot spot. 23 off 8 now. He is ticking. So 27 on the board. We haven't even finished 2 overs just yet. Heard Scott Edwards at the toss saying that they would have had a bat first. They believe this is a true batting surface. I think yesterday Canada probably just lost wickets at the wrong time, but on another day, they were looking at 180 to 200 also. Seems like that ball's been hit out of shape. Andrew might be getting a new one.
Yeah, don't think, Corey, that the fielder did enough. Might have just taken some impact.
Just want a quick credit to this, Nintin Bhati and Rizwan Akram, and congratulations to Rizwan Akram because it is his 50th on-game field. We've been told we got a delicious piece of cake to celebrate this morning.
His 50th appearance as an umpire at the T20I. Brilliant, isn't it?
Brilliant,
really
brilliant. He's a bit of a stalwart in Dutch cricket with the umpiring, and Nintin Bhati, his compatriot. So the men in pink today, and it looks like we're going to get that briefcase filled with beautiful kookaburra balls coming out.
I'll tell you something as well. He is very much cut from my cloth. He is a cricket badger, is Rizwan, and there's nothing wrong with that. A cricket tragic, whatever word you want to use to describe him. He loves the game. Played, didn't he, for some of the sort of Netherlands representative sides in the mid-90s, and has gone on to be really formidable as an umpire now. Our reserve umpire today he has been throughout the series. We see Maulik Prabhadesai come in with that briefcase, and Nintin Bhati and Rizwan Akram done a great job, all under the watchful eye of Phil Thompson, the ICC match referee from Ireland.
I think yesterday you were talking on the topic of players that hit the ball hard, and Levitt was up there in the top 3 of your list. He's just smacked that 6 and smashed it out of shape. Will he do it again?
Yeah, I think in the associate game, right up there, isn't he? The fact he seems to like both, does he probably slightly prefer pace on the ball?
I think so. I think most openers will always say they want a bit of pace, but he's very, very good at using the crease and going deep to get the leverage as well and the height.
Like so many who've played a bit of cricket in South Africa in their time, he seems to love the pull shot. Anything short, he just pounces upon, really does. 5 fielders on the offside in a ring for Kenjige, 4 on the leg. Just 2 allowed in the deep in the first 6 overs of all T20Is. The tour thus far just couldn't have gone any better for the Dutch. And within that, I'm kind of also saying they haven't played perfectly all the way throughout. They're top of this table. They're 4 from 4 in the ODIs last week, and they're top of that table too. There are so many good things happening around Dutch cricket right now.
Yeah, they'd be very happy, and I think it's winning games with the extended squad means a lot to them as well. Obviously, we've touched on in the previous matches. I heard you during the ODIs that county players that haven't been able to make it over and others missing through just injuries, and they've still found a way to win games and win them pretty well. So good signs for Dutch cricket, but I don't count out USA to maybe spring a little bit of an upset today. And to be honest, Canada have had their moments as well. As looks like we're going to be starting over number 3.
Jesse Singh be given the ball. Remarkable to think first over went for 20 yesterday as Aaron Johnson took a real liking to him, and he finished up with 4 overs, 2 for 24. He's just the kind of cricketer you want in and around your squad. He gives you nothing but 100% effort always. Not the quickest, not maybe the most dangerous either, but he's just effective, and he keeps plugging away, and he's probably playing the best cricket of his career.
It looks like to me one of those cricketers that knows his game, knows what's his limitations and what he can do well, and then tries to exploit them. So good bowling change here from Monank Patel, the USA captain. Obviously, we've started this one a little bit slowly, but credit to the Dutch batters.
A little bit of movement away. If you're wondering about his presence of mind and his strength of character, during Major League Cricket this year, he actually wasn't named in any of the squads. He was one of only 3 from the USA 15, not in any of the Major League squads. But he was then brought in as a reserve player for Sarav Netravalkar. Sarav Netravalkar went home with what was described at the time as for family reasons, but it was actually having his first child. So he disappeared off for paternity leave for a couple of games. This is whipped off his hip by Max O'Dowd, and whipped nicely. He's going to get 4. O'Dowd has started much brighter today than he did 2 days ago, and the Dutch are in a great position already.
Oh, I love that shot. A little bit of cat and mouse. He shows the stumps. Jesse Singh follows him, cramps him for room, but he's quick enough to get the hands through the ball. Lovely batting from O'Dowd. Yeah, the other day got stuck amazingly with 0 off 11. Not today. I really like the sort of combination these two men are growing together. They open in the 50s, they open in the T20s. They look to have a very good understanding.
So Singh came in for 2 Washington Freedom games, replaced Sarav Netravalkar in both of them, and was given key roles with the ball. Another boundary. This time it's a square drive, beats the 2 men. There's 2 there, isn't there? One at backward point, one at point, pierces them perfectly. And all those Orange fans in the crowd are very pleased. What a start.
Oh, they're off to an absolute flyer. here, Lenny. They really are. To me, this wicket, a lot of credit has to go to the grounds crew. After what I witnessed yesterday, they were genuine worries for the pitch and the surface, but they've got it up, they've got it ready, and this looks pretty true for batting. 35 off 2.4 and a dream start for the Netherlands.
Yeah, miraculous. Absolutely miraculous if you were here at 6 p.m. yesterday to think we're playing on the same surface. Really is. Great credit to everyone involved, all the hard work, and so much of that hard work from the team in Kampong, volunteer work. So our thanks, sincere thanks to all of them. And now a tardy piece of glove work. Well, this is a bit reminiscent of Jesse Singh's opening over yesterday. It went for 20. He's gone for 13 with 2 more balls to come.
These are the ones that really are coach killers. It's been a dangerous start from the Netherlands. They're up and flying, and then you get 5 wides to the total. They're already in the 40s. And USA just need to tidy it up a little bit. Yes, it was a little bit of a half volley, but I think Manak Patel will be disappointed not to have stopped that.
So Singh came in for those 2 MLC games under the head coach Ricky Ponting. 3 for 14 against MI New York and 3 for 25 against the Texas Super Kings. Player of the match in both. Driven again, maybe, just maybe the best shot of the morning. Or the afternoon, it feels like the morning. 4 o'clock start and another fan gets a touch of the ball. Magic moments here in the crowd being provided by the 2 openers. Flying start, quite sensational.
Yeah, beautiful shot, really beautiful on the up, through the offside. That's vintage Max O'Dowd. It might feel like the morning for you. You did come on the bike, took you a while to get here, Andrew. I was a bit worried.
I'm assimilating, am I? I'm trying to become local, and I'm not sure the cardio levels are there. Should have taken 20, but it's took a bit longer. Now off the hip, won't be a boundary this time, will be a couple. 46 from the first 3 overs, 19 from Singh's first. USA on the back foot immediately. Remember, they won the toss. It's 46 for none.
Yeah, brilliant start. What I love about these 2 as well, they're just timers of the cricket ball. They don't really look to get too inventive, but Max O'Dowd will every now and then show his stumps to try and go through the offside. But when they're at full flow, they're very dangerous. Looking at that lineup, Andrew, as well, Vikramjit Singh listed at 3. He made 50 off 20 balls. We're still looking to see a bit more of Zach Leon Cachet, Scott Edwards, Noah Croce into the side as well, a very good cricketer. Looking forward to seeing him at number 6. And, well, with a start like this, 200 plus, that'll be a minimum for the Dutch.
And they're going to continue with Kenjige as well. USA's bowling, for me, despite Harmeet Singh's brilliance, definitely the weaker of their 2 primary skill sets here on this tour. They've actually fielded really well, credit to them. Stuart Law's improved that hugely, despite that throw from Singh. I'm surprised that Manak Patel has the gloves. Andrews House is a very good keeper.
Do you think that's a little bit too much going on with captaincy opening the batting and then also with the gloves?
And his shoulder injury, you got to remember. So this is a guy who played the first 2 games and was a key part of the first 2 games. Was a leading run scorer in the match against Pakistan in that historic win in Texas. And we've seen how good a batter he is. He's genuinely a world-class player. Oh, fortune this time. Now the question is, was there an inside edge in it? Or is this going to run away for what will be... No, 4 runs. It was an inside edge. Kenjige won't have the first breakthrough. And the 50s come up in a flash. Yeah, definite inside edge. Misfortune for Kenjige, but much deserved fortune for the Dutch. How good have they been?
Oh, they've been magnificent. That's probably the first false stroke. And it's 51 off 20 deliveries in the game. They've actually imitated what Vikramjit Singh did the other day, 51 off 20. So, well, sky's the limit here for the Netherlands. They are flowing.
Now pumps this one over the vacant long on region. Well, the way they're going, every single fan who's come in is going to get a touch of the ball.
Look, if you are in the area, this is a perfect day to come in. The weather's nice. You can free entry. USA on Dutch soil. T20 action live from the ECN on Willow TV. And right now, this is beyond an onslaught. Good fielding. We've had some very good fielders from the crowd the last few days.
The fielders in the crowd have been outstanding. Might need to get a few over the far side of the canal. Certainly everything right now must go. USA are having pressure piled onto them, and that pressure, well, it's breaking the American bowlers right now.
I think what's scary for USA right now, there's still 2.2 overs left in this power play. They desperately need a wicket or just a couple of dot balls to get the boys together. And, well, you can lose a game in 20 minutes. Right now, Dutch are streaking away with this.
Absolutely flying. Sensational stuff from these two. And it's just going to be more of the same. Look out in the crowd. And the crowd are signalling it's gone all the way. And so too now is Rizwan Akram. He says to Nithin Bhatia, yeah, from my angle it looked like it went over the rope. And let's get a look. Oh yes, very good. Good cricket knowledge in the crowd too.
Yeah, the crowd is on fire because the ball keeps going to them. This is a crazy start. 62 off 3.5. Oh boy, Levitt and O'Dowd both ticking right now.
Outstanding batting, and actually you've got to say USA look a bit shell-shocked. Look at the fielders, they're all on their heels on the edge of the 30-yard circle. 4 have been bowled, only 4. It's 63 for none. The expected score is over 200. They might want even more than that, as the Dutch, who've been exceptional all series, they've won all 5 games, the 4 ODIs, the 1 T20 they've played so far. Well, they've started on a flyer and they've not stopped. I'm glad that graph kept going. I said, how are you going at 10 and over? You're going at 15.
Oh, well, the sky's the limit for them, isn't it? Sometimes I like to call this the double click. When opening batters, when one gets flowing, the other sort of goes with them, and it's very difficult to stop. So USA need a bit of brilliance here to break the partnership and just look at a new face. Not going to be easy, though. 31 off 13 for 11, 27 off 11 for O'Dowd.
And what in life, what is rare is beautiful, and it is rare that both openers come off. However good they are, however brilliant Max O'Dowd and Michael Levitt are, for both of them to be striking over 200, it doesn't happen altogether too often. Singh's going to be persisted with. Still 2 overs of the power play remain. And they're just going to keep going here, aren't they? This isn't out of the middle, but it may well still be 4 more. It is. It's a big, big boundary. Best part is 70 metres to the longest part of the ground. The runs are flowing. It's a run fest here for the Dutch.
Well, I know you're pretty good with all the statistics. What's the best ever power play for the Dutch before? Because this is right on it. 67 on the board right now. We've got 1.5 overs to go. And right now, the USA, I don't think they know what to do.
There has been, I think if I remember correctly, there has been 100 breach just once. And that was by South Africa against the West Indies.
Well, you wouldn't count them out of it, what, 32 runs off 10 deliveries to get there?
100's probably out of the question, but the best... You've asked this question on purpose, haven't you?
All right, I'll get the Google sheet out.
No, I haven't. I haven't.
Oh, you've got it.
But you asked it on purpose. It's that game again. Netherlands-Ireland, Sylhet, 2014.
Of course.
91 they put on.
Well, they're right on here. They could definitely beat that. That was the Stefan Myberg day, wasn't it?
Yeah, let's have that record gone. Let's have enough of that one. We saw Steph in one of the ODIs. He came up to the ground. This one's driven through the cover. It's just going to be a single. There is just a... It's probably, maybe it's easier to explain than I'm making out, but there's a real feel-good factor around Dutch cricket at the moment.
Yeah, I think there's the development of the national team, men's and women's. It has to be said, the women's national team are growing extremely quick as well, and under 19 levels, and the community right behind their national players. Just to see all the kids here getting autographs later after the game, there is a feel-good community in Dutch cricket right now, and the sport's growing rapidly.
If you're wondering who opened the batting that day with Stefan Myberg, Peter Boren, one of the great servants of Dutch cricket, and he promoted himself up the order as the captain. He said, no, the only way we can actually still get through to what was the Super 10s at that point, wasn't a Super 12 yet, is by going ballistic at the top. He made 31 off 15. Myberg 63 off 23, including a 17-ball 50, which still holds the record for the fastest ever T20I 50 for the men in orange. Ireland were shell-shocked that day. The target was 190. They needed to get there in 13.5 overs. That's exactly what they did it in to get through to that Super 10, where famously Levitt goes bananas. Oh, this is monstrous. Look out on the other pitch. There is a game going on over there. Oh, it might be in the innings break or something. And another youngster gets to field one. That's monstrous.
That is absolutely massive. That has cleared the rope by about 30, 40 metres. He got every piece of that. You were talking yesterday about him being one of the strongest and hardest hitters, and he's just shown you there. 42 off 17 now for Levitt. The partnership's 75-20. We're on the ECN network. This is very ECN-like.
It's not a T10.
Yeah, it feels
Reminder if you're a regular ECN watcher. T20I action here. Slower ball, good change up from Singh, but great recognition from Levitt that USA are nowhere right now, are they? All the fielders on their heels. They're being blown away. That record is a real chance of going. They need 16 in the final over of the power play to do it. It would be the highest ever in any power play for the Dutch in men's T20I cricket. And in fact, across men's and women's T20 internationals, if they could even get to 92, it'd be the 4th highest in the history of the game.
Yeah, unbelievable from the Dutch opening pair. This is what we've got coming up over the next couple of days. Yesterday was abandoned, but obviously we're here now live with Netherlands versus USA. Tomorrow, Canada versus Netherlands. And then we actually move grounds. We're off to VCC in Voorburg with USA-Canada on Tuesday the 27th and on Wednesday the 28th. The final game of this long series, Netherlands versus USA. Vinny Sandu will be back. I believe he's in Rome at the moment, so looking forward to having him back here in the Netherlands. And, well, I'm a little bit shocked. This was maybe one of the last things I expected to see a start of this T20I.
And this is why I'm definitely not a curator.
It is remarkable what the ground staff have been able to do here, considering what we witnessed with the storm.
I wish we could show you just how heavy that thunderstorm was yesterday. It blew away and blitzed and actually physically broke a marquee.
Our marquee.
Snapped the commentary marquee. the hospitality one was down too. I don't think that's managed to be rebuilt, is it? That's taken. That one's disappeared as Van Schalkwyk comes into the attack. So there has been a Trojan effort. Doesn't explain what the KNCB and indeed the Kampong team have done over the last 24 hours. Whilst you and I were preparing and watching cricket and relaxing for another day, everyone else was doing everything they could to get this game on. Now it's come off an edge. Man down at deep third should hold on to it, and he does. Didn't look overly comfortable underneath it, Janoy Drysdale, but he does enough. And that incredible opening partnership is broken. It's put on 77 in record time. That's why I thought Van Schalkwyk should have been bowling from this end to start with.
Oh boy, that edge has flown all the way down to third man. O'Dowd will feel a little bit hard done by. Great pitches. A lot of people coming into this game. But yeah, Max O'Dowd will be a little bit disappointed there. Just wanted to pick it up, go with the breeze over backward square leg. But boy, he's done a good job with Levitt. And as the first wicket does go down, warm round of applause from the supporters and spectators that have come in. Does mean new man coming to the crease is, well, no respite for USA. It's a man that made 51 off 20 against Canada. The second fastest 50 for the Netherlands in their history in T20I cricket. Vikramjit Singh coming out at 3.
And didn't he play well 48 hours ago? Do go back to this. We saw it a lot during Cricket World Cup League 2, the first edition of it, when they still had the back-to-back ODIs. There wasn't many sides that went well on the second day of a back-to-back ODI. Yes, this is a different format. Yes, the American side only played one of the 2 innings yesterday. But they were here all day. They probably didn't get the team bus back till after 8 o'clock last night. It's 45 minutes or so because that team hotel is in between the 3 venues. We've had games at Rotterdam. We will go back to Voorburg in 2 days' time here in Kampong. So they'll just be a bit fatigued, whereas the Dutch, well,
it's a big thing.
Ready to go.
I like what you're saying there, because it is a big thing. I know the Dutch, personally I know a couple of their players, they go home, they go to bed in their own bed, your own home, your own stove, little things like this. When you're on a long tour, fatigue comes in for the touring team. So big Canada time. And USA are going to really have to fight hard in these last few games. Looking forward to seeing Vikramjit Singh again. Can he get going? And boy, oh boy, he can be very destructive.
That's the kind of length I thought that Van Schalkwyk would just bowl nicely on this surface from this end. It's where you're going to get a little bit of assistance as a seamer. I think USA have had a fair tactical misstep by opening with spin. And it's been pretty costly, to be honest.
Yeah, it's been very costly. It's a quick one on Levitt as well, Andrew. His career strike rate, 146. If you don't get him early, you're in for some serious punishment.
I wouldn't even be surprised if that goes up in years to come. I think he's, well, the world's his oyster, the youngster. He's well spoken, he's mild mannered, he's polite, he's God, he's everything you'd want in your team. And often with someone at that age, you need to give them 30, 40 games for them to adjust and get used to the top level. He's just taken to it really almost right from the off. Good diving stop by Kenjigate. Backward point, that saves at least a couple.
Yeah, USA needed this over, didn't they? Picking up the dangerous O'Dowd, and now just getting a couple of dot balls. I think both these men at the crease as well. Vikramjit Singh, let's not forget, quite a young cricketer as well. Both have the world on their shoulders, and they've got many years of cricket to come, these two at the crease. Very good.
The world at their feet.
Same thing. It's been a long tour for me as well, Andrew.
This is pulled and straight to the man. And Jesse Singh is going to take the catch. It's a slower ball. It's a cutter into the surface. You want your experience in conditions like these, and that's what Van Schalkwyk has shown. He's got 2 in the over.
Yeah, clever bowling, off speed into the pitch, and he was through the shot too early. Well, just giving him a big rap, but he has to go for a duck today. And boy, USA needed that over just to peg things back, bring some new faces to the crease, and don't count them out. They finished in the top 8 of the World Cup for a reason. Netherlands now 77 for 2. As Scott Edwards looks like he's coming out number 4. Just, yeah, completely mistimed. Maybe bamboozled, didn't pick the slower ball and threw the shot. Way too early, has to go.
Well, amazing, isn't it? They go to the bowler that we thought would be very effective. From the end, we thought he'd get some assistance. He gets 2 in the over, and it's 2 for just 1 run. Completely changes the dynamic of the game. And Mayank Patel, he should reflect upon that and go, oh, well, I think I've got that one wrong.
Yeah, potentially, in hindsight, he'll look back and maybe adjust for the future games, but this is their last game at Kampong. It seems like Scott Edwards has raced out there to be at number 4. You were talking the other day, Lenny, about sort of not a very confident Dutch middle order at the moment. After Edwards, you're getting into some players that haven't really established themselves in the team with the bat yet. No Ackerman, no Engelbrecht, so maybe a door opening here for USA.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that if there's a weakness in this Dutch side, it's very, very clear that there's a soft underbelly to their middle order. And I'm not being disparaging to Scott Edwards. Scott Edwards is a fine accumulator in the middle order. Harmeet Singh comes into the game much earlier than he did yesterday. Bowled overs 13 through 19 unchanged. He almost did the sort of the donkey work, the difficult work. I think he's better when he's going to be used in this role as the wicket taker, coming in out of the power play. But yeah, Edwards will accumulate, but he then needs some hitters around him. And don't get me wrong, the job at number 5, 6, 7 to come in and score quickly right from the off is one of the most difficult in the modern game, particularly when you'll generally always be doing it in the second power play when 5 are in the deep. 5 will be out on the rope like they are now. So to come and score at more than a run a ball right from the off, not to have 3 or 4 dots like we saw plenty of the Canada middle order have yesterday, which stifled their momentum. I'm not saying it's an easy role, but it's very, very clear in both this format and in ODIs, that's where the Dutch weakness is. And I thought USA exploited it really, really well, because they restricted the Dutch in those ODIs to 207 and 237. But I'm not sure what the answer is. They've got to give somebody some game time, and maybe the youngster Lion Cachet he's certainly worth a go, isn't he?
Well, and Noah Kroos coming into the team as well. I think they want to identify him as a little bit of a ramper, scooper, reverses, and potentially something that he can give them that's a little bit different. It's worked pretty well into the leg side for a single. Yeah, it's a funny one because you've got Teja Nidamanuru, who's obviously injured, and he's probably one of their power hitters missing. But it is something the Dutch have been looking for probably 2-3 years now. If they can find their finisher, I know they're trying to work on Ryan Klein's batting and Kyle Klein's batting, but if they can develop someone into the finisher with the dangerous top order, and then you add the Edwards and the Crozes with their sort of deflection shots, you do have a complete lineup, but they are on the search for it.
I think they need 2 of them. I don't think it's just
modern day cricket.
I think they're missing 2 power hitters at 6, 7, 8. I think Aryan Dutt has the potential to be that eventually. He's probably not going to get there this year or next year. But you look at his he's
a big man.
Yeah, his technique, his scope, his size. And I think he can hit very powerfully down the ground. This is what you're going to get from Edwards. You're going to get well-judged 1s and 2s. But as a consequence, the man out there deep mid-wicket, Nitish Kumar, knows the batter. If it's Levitt, he's probably hanging right back on the edge of that 70-metre boundary. Instead, he knows it's Edwards. He knows he's going to get nudges, so he's in swiftly, keeps it to 1, and there's been a massive change in momentum. The 2 wickets fell on the same score, and just 4 from Harmeet Singh's first. It's 81 for 2.
Yeah, have a look at those economy rates. Tale of 2 tapes, basically. 16, 14, 16, and then 1 and 4. So USA, after a blistering start from the Netherlands, just pegging it back. Looks like more bowling changes to continue, so it's going to be spin from both ends as Yasir Mohammad's going to come into the attack. I thought he bowled okay yesterday with his right arm leg spin. Offers something a little bit different.
Well, I think they're picking a bowler too many. And you would have to say, if you're Saiteja Mukamala or Utkarsh Shrivastava right now, 6 games into the tour, you've been in both squads, you've yet to play. I know Shrivastava is only 17, he may well just be here for the experience. But remember, Stephen Taylor's injured. So they're down to a 14-player squad. He will not appear in the series. That's being confirmed to us. So Paradkar's the other one to miss out today, the left-arm medium pacer, like he missed out yesterday. Tickled round the corner. Very clever deflection from Scott Edwards. The outfield is a bit slower today, isn't it? So won't be 4, but it will be 3 as Drysdale helps out the fielder. So you've got 2 batters there, sitting on the side, Mukamala and Shrivastava, yet to play, and you're picking 6 bowlers. Every game. I think the balance is wrong for USA. They might say that the touring squad they have is wrong. They actually need an extra batter in the touring squad. But what is Saiteja Mukamala doing here if he's not going to play a game?
Well, you'd have to imagine that management just want that 6th option. They might feel a little bit short with 5, and if one of those 5 bowlers doesn't have a good day, like today, potentially, you can use your 6th.
But what it means is you've got a very lengthy tail. They've been kind enough to write in their batting order for us today. Shadley Van Schalkwijk's going to bat 6. Yeah, and he really is a number 8 in international cricket in particular. Harmeet Singh will be at 7. Jasdeep Singh, Jesse Singh at 8. And then at 9, 10, 11, you've got Yasir Mohammed, who can bat, as this is swept round the corner. Nosh Kenjige at 10, and then just Drysdale at 11. I think the balance is a bit wrong for USA. And I think in the chase, let's say the Dutch get up to that expected score of about 180, 190. If they got to that, well, the only way they chase it down is a 60, 70 plus from Manik Patel, Andrews House, or maybe Aaron Jones. So I suppose the injury to Taylor has brought about a bit of that. Going to be 50. Monster. It's the biggest probably we've seen up that way into the wind. No boundaries big enough for this youngster. It's another massive 6. And Levitt goes to 50 off just 25.
Yeah, he really, really is making a name for himself in Dutch cricket circles and around the globe also. Brilliant innings from Michael Levitt, who was man of the match the other day. He's pushing hard for it again. 53 of 25, 4 sixes, 5 4, striking at 212. What an innings.
Look at where he favours. Long on, all the way to deep mid-wicket. And that ability that we spoke about in the first power play, he likes pace in the ball, but the ability to hit boundaries over the heads of fielders, off spinners too, it turns him into something of a complete player.
Yeah, he's brilliant against spin, isn't he? He really is. He's so good at using that crease and getting the leverage when he needs to. What a brilliant start this is still for the Netherlands, despite those 2 wickets in quick succession.
Again, a little bit of hindsight here, but tactical misstep taking Van Schalkwyk out. 2 for 1 in his first over.
I think so, 2 for 1 in your first over.
Particularly from that end.
Yeah, this is the end you've been saying, look, get the seam on it. You saw the one that was the slow ball to Vikramjit Singh. It just stuck a little bit and he's through the shot.
Surface.
Yeah, so 94 for 2, maybe a couple of missteps so far from USA, but a lot of credit still has to go to the batting group from Netherlands. They've obviously come out here, so we're going to get on with it today, and they really are. And great to see a really good crowd starting to filter through as well. Really nice pictures here in the Netherlands, just to the right of your screen. A little bit darker, a little bit murky, but the forecast we should be okay today.
We were expecting sunshine though, weren't we? And there is a little bit of moisture in the air.
Welcome to Holland. Yeah. Welcome to the Netherlands. It happens.
You can't say that to an Irishman. we've got the absolute patent on rain, particularly in cricket. The Scots do. The Scots rival us. It was a great day, and you'll love this one in March. Ireland are playing a series against Afghanistan up in Sharjah. At the exact same time, the same day, Scotland are due to play an ODI against UAE. What do you think happened?
Rain.
Direct hit, big appeal, but I think the dive is going to get him home and will get him a second. Excellent fielding from House. But good commitment from Edwards has preserved his wicket and brought him a second run.
That's very good match awareness to get the second. He was up off the deck very quickly, but that must have been close. It was brilliant fielding. Direct hits are always close.
Yeah, great decision for me, I think.
You're not too sure that bat hit the ground and was up over the line?
No, I think he's okay.
Just have a closer look here, just with the bat here, Lenny. As it hits, it goes right up. It's not down yet.
Yeah, he's fine. Even the glove's in. The glove and the handle are in.
I love how confident you are.
You can't give that out.
No, you can't.
You just can't give. Like, that's whatever happens, a great decision for me. But yeah, in Dubai, it didn't just rain. It was cataclysmic rain.
Like yesterday?
No, infinitely worse. It was that for 36 hours. It was the one that flooded the airport. You might remember that.
Yes, I did see all that.
So the keynote for the Afghan Cricket Board and for the Emirates Cricket Board: don't bring Ireland and Scotland at the same time. You can bring one of them, but don't bring the weather gods, the weather kings, the rain kings.
I'm very thankful we're going to get a full game in today. There is no rain in the forecast.
There's a bit in the air though.
None in the forecast.
Well, let's hope that's right. Dutch will hope it's right. They're going along very pleasingly, up over 11 and over. Levitt can look a bit agricultural at times, and finally, with the Blitzkrieg having finished all the runs, might give us a chance to say hello to everyone in the live chat. So firstly, you're very welcome along. Andrew Leonard here alongside Corey Ruckers. You're watching live on YouTube on the European Cricket Network, and if you're watching in North America, you'll be joining us on Willow TV. A very good morning over there, because it's about 10:30 a.m. on the East Coast, about 7:30 a.m. on the West Coast. Amazing how big a country the United States is. Really great to have you with us. Drop a message in that live chat if you're watching on YouTube, or you can get a DM to us on either Twitter or Instagram. Corey Ruckers and Andrew Leonard here with you, and we would love to hear where you're watching from. Are you enjoying the action? What about the score predictions? What do you reckon? Watching on the live chat, what do you think the Dutch are going to make? Can USA drag it back? Harmeet Singh is going to be key to that, isn't he? 9 have been bowled. It's 99 for 2. Levitt's on 56. What do you think, Corey? What's the total the Dutch would want from here?
I would imagine they'd wanted 2 at the start of their total. No matter what from here, with 11 overs to go, they'll be looking at 200 plus, and wouldn't put it past them. Michael Levitt might hold the key to that, because you are right, exactly on cachet. He's sort of he's new to the scene, finding his feet in Dutch cricket. Noah Kroos, Ryan Klein, Kyle Klein. So it's a little bit more pressure if they are to lose a wicket or two and bring out that middle order. You were there in Nepal when Michael Levitt made 135 in that T20. Was it just sustained hitting for long periods, or did he accelerate more at the end in that innings?
Well, it was brutal. I remember that. And when you get on a roll there at that TU International Cricket Ground, as Edwards tries to join the party, and join it he does. That is a big one, isn't it? And look out over in that car park on the far side. Oh no. What's happened over there? It could be some collateral damage. The hundreds come up, and it's thanks to the Dutch captain. It's Scott Edwards. Has this one gone on a roof or something?
Oh no, I think has it gone through? Well, we'll have a closer look. That might be window shattered, and Scott Edwards might be getting a bill a little bit later. I really think that might have smashed the window of the car. I hope not. I hope everyone's okay.
Or has it gone through the window?
Imagine that.
See if we can zoom in there. That's a Polite car, isn't it? A police.
Oh, it is a police car. Well, tell you what, Scott.
Let's have a look here.
It couldn't have, could it? It'd be a story, wouldn't it?
Maybe somebody can tell us. Is there? Do you see a smash anywhere?
No, maybe.
There's a bit of conjecture. It's a female policewoman there. Where's the ball?
Yeah, the ball's been thrown back. Someone's found the ball and thrown it back, but
it might be smashed, is it?
It could be smashed. We could have a smashed police car here. What a shot. Well, oh, you got to love it. Welcome to the ECN world.
Well, that's not going to endear the Dutch national team captain to the police, is it?
Well, if the police need to know where he lives, I'm happy to give an address. I'm happy. He should be going to prison.
You're going to be getting a knock on the door later. Could be damage done.
Well, they're probably looking at the ball. If there's some glass shards in it, it'll be getting replaced pretty quickly. Oh, they've thrown 2 back. Whoa.
No, that's the ball that's just come out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, there has been a lot of balls hit in that region, but yeah, what a remarkable shot. He got every piece of that, to be fair.
Good tactics as well, because he's really hitting with the direction of the wind to better length this time from Mohammed Drysdale with another misfield. He's been definitely put under a lot of pressure in the field. Right now, USA, well, they're being blitzed apart, aren't they, by the Dutch? This is very impressive.
Yeah, and Edwards has got going as well. He's 18 off 10 now. I think he'll enjoy that breeze that is going behind him.
Driven, and driven really, really well. It's very nearly going to get to the rope, but Cheyenne Jahangir does enough. Levitt wants a third, but Edwards, I think, rightly sends him back.
Brilliant shot from Edwards as well. Over pitch, just showing that he doesn't always have to go sort of the late drives or square drives and sweeps. Pumps that one through cover, but brilliant fielding. Almost a scorpion-style stop. Saves 2 more.
Yeah, definitely pressure on Yasir Mohammed. I think at times, Manak Patel's a good captain strategically in terms of reading the game, but at times, like any captain, you can kind of get trapped in your blueprint. Okay, I'll get through the power play, then I'll bring my 2 spinners on. But Edwards is trying to take the leg spinner apart. It's another maximum. It's a one-handed 6. And Edwards getting his strike rate going in a big way. He's striking at 200.
Well, I hope the police cars move, because I don't know if he's got a few grudges going on here, Edwards. But no, brilliant batting. We know how good he is, a sweeper of the cricket ball. One-handed 6. He actually does that quite a lot with the one hand. It's quite ridiculous. And I hope the spectators are paying attention today, because the kookaburra is flying.
Yeah, hard hats on. And please, if you're listening and watching the YouTube live stream in the crowd, make sure you watch the ball. Watch it live. Don't watch it on your smartphone, because it's a hard ball and it's being struck ferociously by 2 very impressive players in different styles. The 2 gets warm applause from the Dutch dugout. 10 have been bowled, 117 for 2. Now, here we go. What's happening over here?
Oh, well, I'll tell you what, someone might be in a bit of trouble.
They're getting some assistance, I think, are they? They're getting a bit of assistance.
They're just showing them how to get into the ground and enjoy all the live action, I'm sure.
Or maybe how to take a catch. Maybe the fans are educating the police women. This is how you take a catch when the ball gets hit up there. Drama. Always drama in the associate game. It's why we love it. There's nothing better. That's what's to come up on the European Cricket Network. If you're watching with us on YouTube, over 5,000 concurrently watching. We thought we might have great numbers today with the test match having finished between both Pakistan and Bangladesh. Historic victory, their first ever for them over Pakistan in Pakistan, and a great win for England last night, but plenty to look forward to.
Yeah, plenty of cricket going around globally. This is what's on our actual ECN network. We're streaming live in Rome, the Valletta Cup in Malta and in Netherlands, and then coming up around the corner we go to Austria, Croatia and Greece, and then we have the European Cricket Championship later. Starting on Monday, 23rd of September, 30 plus nations for one of our marquee events. So if you do enjoy the ECN network, subscribe on YouTube and come along for the ride.
Van Schalkwijk as a change of ends. Again, not necessarily the one I would have thought. Plenty of comments coming in the chat, and a big good afternoon from the Netherlands to Tajin Rahman, who says the Dutch are definitely going to make more than 200. Shanto, who's watching on from Bangladesh. Ramim. We got a viewer from Luxembourg as well. Milan Sharif, also from Bangladesh. Lots of Bangladesh cricket fans. They are top of their lives right now, aren't they? Because what a victory.
What a result. But what do you think about Pakistan's declaration in the first innings? Positive or foolish?
Well, it looks a bit foolish now, doesn't it?
A bit of egg on the face.
Yeah, well, we've had a bit of that as well across this trip so far. Nice to hear from Traveller as well, who says, my cousin is playing for the Netherlands. I'm watching on from South Africa. Whose cousin is that, I wonder? Rod Kroos watching on from Qatar.
Ah, Rod's a good man. That's Noah Kroos's father.
Ah, there we go.
Hope you're doing well, Rod.
Wayne is asking, did it go through the police car window?
Yeah, I can confirm. I've been given a message. It did.
It smashed the window.
Smashed the window. What a story.
There you are, Scotty. You're going to be in trouble. You're going to be in big trouble. That's what you're going to be in. Yeah, 100% it smashed, apparently. And that's not the length to be bowling, nor the line. It's going to be just one bounce. Vivian Kingma, who's been ruled out with that injury, he's still with the squad, probably only by a matter of inches, let alone yards. It's 4 more to the total.
This is just ridiculous hitting from the Netherlands, and they are really racing on to a big score here. Levitt's still there, Edwards ticking, supporters enjoying. What a day to watch the cricket. 123 on the board off 10.3 with a long way to go. Fireworks.
Big hello to Ricky Ali watching on from Miami in the United States. He's not too happy right now. Doesn't know what the American bowlers are doing. Neither do we, Ricky, if it's any consolation. Oh dear. Now how big is this? That is absolutely humongous. Levitt, well, you're not going to see many bigger. That has gone to the moon and back.
Wow, that is ginormous. He got every piece. Oh, Levitt is on song. The Netherlands are just ticking here. Right now, USA, they need to find something. 129 on the board off 10.4. That was massive.
Levitt moves to 67. Look at how big this is. Right out of the screws. And the fans in the background loving it. So too are the kids trying to collect it. Gets that one to jag back. Going to run the single quickly. Gets the dive in. Oh, he's an all-action cricketer, isn't he, Michael Levitt?
He really is. Good running from these two. After back-to-back wickets of O'Dowd and Vikramjit Singh have really come in and got it going. Edwards 29 off 15. Look, they changed ends here with the seamer. What's your sort of thought processes there?
Well, I can't explain it to you, I'm afraid. Just like the supercomputer, that's broken. That's saying there's 101% chances of this game. We can't work it out. USA, their minds are scrambled genuinely. And this is what happens when you're in the absolute staring in the face and onslaught of the highest quality. That's what this is. We're seeing world-class ball striking, particularly from Levitt. All of the Dutch have been outstanding. Well, maybe not Vikramjit Singh, he was out for a duck. But the way this tri-series is going, Dutch win today. They're in an indomitable position.
Well, you talked about it in the preview. USA have never beaten the Netherlands in any format. And right now, it's hard to see them getting into this game. 131 on the board off 11. Two very set batters and more batting to come. Yeah, it's been a masterclass of power hitting. Hope you're enjoying all the destruction. This is very ECN-like, actually. Sixes galore.
Abid Ali says 250 on the cards in the YouTube live chat.
Well, if they hit another 119 in 9 overs, boy, oh boy, we're in for a treat. Levitt, for me, he's looking that scary. If he keeps going, he's looking at his second T20 ton already at the age of 21.
Yeah, and in not many games either. He's played, I think, just about 14, 15 innings at the top level. Harmeet Singh is a change of ends. He's bowled 2 overs for 9. He's avoided the carnage, and being honest, he's probably not the one the Dutch will look to take down. Karen Jones, watching on from Trinidad, says the Dutch are going to make 220. Nice to hear from fans tuning in from Nepal. And also one fan who says, hello from the moon. I've just retrieved that ball. It's coming back.
Well, there you go. Hope you got your flag up there as well. Look, you're great with the stats, Lenny. What's the highest score the Dutch have ever made? Look, they're not traditionally a team that they make not big over 200. No,
you're
it's very, very rare.
And yeah, I think even last summer, Levitt, has he got enough of this is the question. Man out there at long on. And that is going to end the fun. There's almost a groan, a collective groan in the crowd. Harmeet Singh is not the man you want to try and hit over long on, particularly into the wind. Van Schalkwyk, he judges a very important catch.
The fun ends for Levitt. Good bit of bowling, took the air out the ball, and it's a very safe catch in the end. A couple of metres inside the rope. We've been witnessing extremely destructive innings from that man on your screen. Credit to him, but he'll be mighty disappointed not to go on and make a big one.
Well, we've been treated to an exhibition, ball striking of the highest quality. He's almost disappointed, but he wants to acknowledge the crowd with 68 off 34, 11 boundaries in there, 6 fours, 5 sixes. I think he feels as though the way he was hitting them, maybe he's given a second T20I 100 away. And yeah, it was his century that powered that highest score the Dutch have ever made. 135 he made when the Dutch made 247 against Namibia.
Well, I did go into the sort of almanac, and they've only cracked 200 3 times.
Yep. So
we are witnessing something that's a little bit more uncharacteristic from the Netherlands. And look, Leon Cachet comes out, had a difficult, well, I wouldn't say a difficult debut, a peculiar debut. So he had to come out with 1 run to go and got a golden duck. So we haven't had to see much. We know he's a Sussex, been in the Sussex system of late and played some white ball cricket there. And there is big raps on his power hitting. So we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, Leon Cachet, he'll just be wanting any kind of run to get things going. Love a single. Harmeet Singh is always going to be the danger man in this attack. Bowled nicely, the change of ends has worked for him. All 3 wickets have fallen from this end where we feel it was going to be a little bit more difficult for the batters. But the Dutch have generally made it look pretty easy. But that wicket, it is going to stifle the run scoring and stifle the momentum that the Dutch have.
Yeah, it will, and it does get into that middle order that you've got a few questions about. And I'll tell you what, Leon Cachet just needs that first run to get the sort of mojo going.
Can't work out, is it Lion Cachet or Leon Cachet? Because Leon Cachet, it feels French, doesn't it?
Coming from Australia, Lion Cachet, but Leon Cachet?
You're almost lion catcher, I'd say.
Yeah, look, I don't know. I'll let you say
Sack lion catcher.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're actually probably down in Australia. You shorten everything. It'd just be ZLC, wouldn't
Yeah,
it?
it would be ZLC.
Yeah, which is good. That's good. Like that. Now reverse. And brilliantly played. Oh, that's exceptional from Edwards. He recognises Harmeet Singh's pretty quick through the air. Won't get 4.
Oh, it must have
Will
been.
get 3.
Are you sure that's not 4? I thought his hand touched the rope a little bit. Have a closer look here. Look, maybe I'm seeing things, Lenny, but just watch the rope a little bit. If it doesn't move. That's 4 for me. I don't think it's been called, but there's definitely a sort of movement there, and the foot's on the ground. That should have been 4. It's only 3.
I think he's got away with one there. You're right, Nash Kenjigate.
Cheeky.
I will be having a word with him about that after. Speared in. That's the arm ball. Does well, Kenjigate, to save probably a couple of runs. Yeah, Cachet will have just that kind of deep exhale now of breath, won't he? He's in. He's got a couple of runs. He'd love a score. He'll have 8 overs to build on the 2 that he's got. 137 for 3. And it's been quite sensational, the batting we've seen thus far. You surprised to see no Brandon Glover? I think we were both expecting him in the team.
Yeah, look, he's back. It's great to see him fit. I was watching him in the warm-ups, and I actually did think they were going to pick him, but they've gone with the extra spinner of Dutt today, and they want to get Kroos into the side. But, well, I think we will see him this tour.
Ryan Klein's still unable to bowl.
Ryan Klein's still going through a few things, so that's why he's been working on that power hitting, and they want him to sort of fill that role. And that is a big loss, because Ryan Klein's very handy with the ball also. So Netherlands finding ways to win, maybe with some players, missing some players with niggles, but they are still finding ways to win.
Now, Kenjigate will bowl from the city or the river end of the ground, the far end of the ground, and he's going to have to be aware of the wind, because all that wind is piling over the batter's shoulders down towards sort of long off a wide extra cover region. Edwards will usually sweep, but what will he do bearing in mind the wind? He doesn't really go over extra cover, does he?
Not so much, but to be fair, he might go the reverse or the switch hit. He does have a genuine sort of switch hit. I think at the moment...
What about the slog sweep? A big gap out there.
It's a big gap, and it's a very big boundary, and pushing into that wind a little bit.
Does go over extra cover, hits with the wind, assesses the conditions exceptionally, and that for me, it's actually possibly the stroke of the day, despite all of Levitt's brilliance. How has Scotty Edwards got that for 6 there?
Well, you and I were talking, is he going to pull out the reverse, the slog sweep? He just backs away and punches it over cover 6. That's a remarkable shot from Edwards. Not one that you see in his repertoire too often, but you've got to have some serious talent to do that.
Oh, brilliant.
Shot of the day for me.
Really brilliant. And now tries to repeat the dose. Uses his feet down the track. Fielder does enough. Didn't attack it, but gets away with it.
A lot of credit to Edwards here. I mean, traditionally, his strike rate and his T20 batting, he's not known to be going at 200. He's a 110 to 120 sort of player and just runs hard. But to be 41 off 20, this is his home ground where he plays his club cricket as well. Batting beautifully.
Yeah, fully agree with that. Career strike rate for him in 65, now 66 T20Is, including today, just 119. So it's not a style of innings that we'll have seen very often from Scott Edwards, but I think it's maybe a recognition of the fact that he doesn't have a huge amount of power hitters. His game's going to have to evolve and adapt in this format. And now that big gap between long on and deep mid wicket, well, it's brilliantly exposed. Can't understand this field. 150s come up. Edwards is flying, and the Dutch continue to go through the gears.
Yeah, this is one of Scott Edwards' best T20 innings that I've seen. I watched a lot of his batting. He has really timed it well. He's raced all the way to 45 off 21. I mean, this is going to be one of the quickest 50s in Dutch T20 cricket if he gets there. Brilliant batting.
Well, 2 points. Hope you haven't put the mockers on your housemate.
No, never.
Firstly. And secondly, it is not just one of his best innings. It's a career best. in T20I cricket. Amazing to think he's never got a 50 in this format. And I suppose that's in contrast to his ODI record, where he's got 17 50s in 51 innings.
I think Scott's quite honest with himself. He said that he really wants to improve his T20 numbers. He's trying to find his flow in that, because he's known as the nerd lad, the one that doesn't throw it away, runs hard. But he's showing today he's got a bit of power about him as well. As we have a look quickly at those bowling figures, not too pretty reading for USA at the moment. But 7 overs to go. They've got to crack 200. It'll be the 4th 200 in their history. And USA are just on damage limitation.
Any top-level batters you talk to, whether it's at the time or at the end of their career, they'll tell you they're aged 28 to 32. Some will say 28 to 34 are your best years as a batter. There's a number of reasons for that. Just 2 days ago, Scotty Edwards turned 28. We could be coming into the prime Edwards run years, and it's not like he's a bad record coming into them.
Does seem like he's matured in the last 2 days also. So fingers crossed for him.
I'm still not buying he's 28.
No, he looks 30 plus.
Looks 30 plus, doesn't he? Singh's been effective, so effective for USA. Basically, almost in direct contrast to the rest of the American bowling line.
Yeah, he's been very tidy, as he was yesterday. He bowled his 4 overs very late against Canada and kept them really tight when they were looking like making 180, 190. So just a difficult bowler to line up. I think Edwards might be looking over his left shoulder here. That big slog sweep could be on with the breeze.
It's probably not a huge amount shorter that side, but it's just a little shorter that side.
It is a little bit shorter, yes.
So that's the area he'll target. Great crowd in now. Really good atmosphere. Smashes it down the ground right in front of our commentary position, where Nitish Kumar does really well. Looking forward to seeing him bat. Didn't get to see America yesterday with the bat. Both him and Andries House, who are the 2 changes to the American squad, they're in the starting 11 again.
Yeah, don't count out USA just yet. They've got a lot of batting to come. If they can keep them to 210, 220, you never know.
Good diving stop, but they'll think of a second. It's the subfielder, Saiteja Mukamala, who is on, who cannot get in quickly enough to cut off the second. I hear what you're saying, but right now the Dutch are massive favourites. Anything 200 plus with the way in which they've bowled and fielded throughout this 6 matches now that they've played, they're massive favourites.
Oh, they'll be massive favourites, but I'm just not counting out USA yet. I just think their T20 form and their batting group, they've got the potential to really explode.
I think the ruthlessness that the Dutch have shown here is, and then the scrap and the fight and the attitude, they had no right to win those 2 ODIs against USA, particularly the first one. A collapse, possibly the most epic collapse I've ever seen in international cricket. Probably seen ones with more wickets for less runs, but it was just the way in which it happened. They batted for 6 overs, the last 6 overs of the innings, as Harmeet Singh finishes his set with 1 for 19 from 4. They scored 8 runs in those 6 overs, and they lost 5 wickets to be bowled all out from the penultimate delivery of the match.
You see that in sport quite often, actually, in the sense that when you can't get a win over a certain team, they just have the wood over you, so to speak, that you find ways of losing, and they did sort of just lose that game on their own accord, and the Netherlands just kept it pretty steady and found a way to chip away and get back and win that ODI. I mean, look there, 154 on the board, 6 overs to go. Yeah, the Netherlands just have the wood over USA cricket, and it will come that day where they do lose to them, but at the moment, it does look like it's going to be on another day unless something drastic here happens at Kampong. So Drysdale has been summoned. Might close out from this end. He's got a few overs to go. Obviously, the first one didn't go his way for 16. Used at the death more here today.
Yeah, different kind of test now for Drysdale. We've spoken at length about how impressed we've been by him. Down the leg side, big appeal from Harmeet Singh at short fine leg. I think just really trying to prevent the umpire from giving the wide. And one of those things, one of those challenges we're talking about for him, okay, it's now bowling at the death, but it's that 2 games in 2 days. It's knowing your own body to know what you need to do overnight to be prepared for that second test against an even stronger opposition.
Yeah, it's never easy to back up 2 in 2 days, and during a long tour, your peak mental and physical fitness.
Edwards will think of two, but he won't get it. Straight to the man, Jahangir. USA have been rattled understandably by this. What have you thought of Madank Patel's reaction to the onslaught?
It's tough to know. Levitt and O'Dowd just got ticking from ball one. And from that point, I think maybe they got a little bit too quiet too quickly. Didn't think on their feet. I think you were right about this end. Obviously, the pavilion end, they lacked a little bit of pace early where we were expecting the wicket to have a little bit more life in it. And yeah, they just sort of feel short of a gallop today.
You haven't done the basics right. I can't get my head around why you would open the bowling with spin, having won the toss. Decided to bowl on what is certainly a green wicket at one end thanks to that thunderstorm yesterday, and then you bowl Kenjige with the shorter boundary in the leg side where the wind's kind of blowing in that direction. These things are always easy with hindsight, but yeah, some interesting choices. That one's driven, but Jesse Singh does well. Just taking a little while, isn't he, to adjust to the pace of international cricket. No surprise for that, Lion Cachet. You won't want to chew up too many balls given how well the Dutch are going.
Great to see so many people coming out and tuning in and watching live also for this. Always love these sort of grounds in the Netherlands. There's always a lot of grass and greenery in the back, so you see the kids playing a bit of French cricket out there and playing their little games whilst also watching the action. They've been given a fair dose of action as well so far.
Nicely pulled, but will be just one bounce to the protection. So Drysdale's come back nicely. More questions coming in. One asking, where is Sarah Netravalker? He is on paternity leave, and our best wishes to him over in the west coast of the United States. You would imagine he'll be back for the tour in Namibia. That's USA's next action. They will take on Namibia and UAE in Cricket World Cup League 2 down in Windhoek. That's September 16th to 26th. At the exact same time, we'll actually have a concurrent Cricket World Cup League 2 series with Nepal, Canada and Oman. And that's a bit more like it for Lion Cachet. Well, he's got that one out of the screws. It's set up to be hit, but it's a hook shot of real quality. That was still travelling into the fence for 6.
Oh, that is a beautiful shot. His first boundary in international cricket. I know he's going to have a lot of friends and family tuned in for this. Look, from all reports in the Dutch dugout and all the training sessions, they say he's got brute power. He isn't there to muck about, so they're really hoping he clicks in national colours because they might have found someone here, and that was a shot of authority. A flat 6.
Really flat, yeah. And there's a football goal over on that side. So what's that, about 7 foot or something like that, a football goal. It's just kind of stayed that height the whole way. And he's been cleaned up, 6 and out for Lion Cachet. But he'll have that little moment to just remind the Dutch of his potential. Credit to Drysdale, thought it was a good over. And he's deserved that wicket. And another one falls.
Yeah, frustration for Lion Cachet. After that 6, he would have liked to keep motoring. Seemed to play around that one a little bit. Good bowling from Drysdale. So that top of the stump's length, got it to come back in just a little bit off the surface. And USA, well, squeezing a little bit here. Trying to fight back after what was a poor start to this game for them. As it does mean that Ryan Klein strides out to the middle. Ryan, obviously, traditionally has been more a bowling all-rounder in this side, but selected today for his batting. You see that ball come back in just a little bit. Good, clever bowling.
And again, we go back to the point. We say this again and again, whether it's T20s, ODIs, or indeed test matches. You come in and hit the top of off as a bowler. Whether you're a seamer, a spinner, whether you're left arm, whether you're right arm, whether you're super quick or super slow, you're not going to go too bad. So if you can adjudge the correct pace of the pitch and where your length needs to be to hit the top of off. Yes, batters can hit you off that. Yes, they can innovate, but I still don't think you're going to go altogether too wrong. If you can keep it simple, hit the top of off, or the top of middle in that case, and generally you're going to give yourself the most potential ways of dismissing the batter and also cause them the most problems, because it's generally not going to be full enough to smash down the ground, probably won't be short enough to pull or cut without some risk at least. And sometimes, well, coaches can overcomplicate the game, ourselves as players can overcomplicate the game, our minds can. Do the basics right and you're going to be in the mix, and that's what Drysdale did in that over. That being said, USA have not done the basics right very much today.
And no, they've been outplayed so far, and it's sort of damage limitation from this point on. 5 overs to go. Netherlands will want at least 60, you'd imagine, off those 5 to a ball. That'll take them up to a very healthy total indeed. Edwards on 48, 2 away from a personal milestone.
And Skalkvik will come back in for his third. He's going to go to the changes of pace, and Edwards would love to, but he's not going to get there. Yet to make a T20I 50, he's 1 away. Real chance here for Ryan Klein. You and I were both talking to him the other day. He was devastated, wasn't he? He's waited a long time to get into the starting 11, and
he's been working on his batting a lot and being picked as this sort of, well, batsman for this one, a finisher, a closer, someone that can hit the big ball. Yes, he had to come in with only 1 run to get, but he was disappointed not to get that 1 run. So he has sort of high expectations of himself, very competitive man. Gets an opportunity here with 29 deliveries to go, and this is the sort of role they want him fitting into, power hitting and seeing how many he can make.
Yeah, 27 years of age. The elder of the 2 Klein brothers in the starting 11. And again, if you have a look at his career numbers, you go, hold on, how's he playing as a batter? The highest score of 11 across 15 internationals between ODIs and T20Is. He was very much in the team for his bowling, but is it a stress fracture or something that he's had?
Yeah, some side strain, I believe.
Yeah,
Something's not clicked really well with his bowling, and it unfortunately hasn't bowled for quite some time of full 100%. So he's been working hard in the nets on his batting.
There's the moment for the Dutch captain. It's going to be a first ever T20 International 50. It's taken him a long time to get one, 58 innings, and it's come at a really rapid pace of just 27 deliveries. It's been a fine knock, and he acknowledges the home crowd and gets a well-deserved handshake from his batting partner.
Yeah, it'll give him a lot of confidence that he can play 2 ways in this T20 format. It opens up this Dutch batting lineup even more if he can add that power game to his abilities. And yeah, rapid 50 from Edwards. He'll be happy with that, but he knows there's still work to do.
Very clever from Van Schalkwyk, a leg cutter. He just keeps taking the pace off. Not a bad answer from Ryan Klein, who sees it and says, okay, happy to check it down for a couple. He has had a good year, hasn't he, in the top class, though. He's averaging over 40 there. VCC he plays at?
Yeah, VCC Vorburg's his home club. Yeah, like I mentioned, he has really worked hard on his batting. He's demanded that, look, even if I can't bowl, I can be that power hitter finisher for this Dutch lineup. And he's been given the nod. He might be feeling a bit of nerves, but I have seen him hit some brutal 6s before.
Speaking of the top class, a big shout out to all 10 teams. They're all in action today, isn't there? I think a full program.
Yeah, I think it's
across
the
the country.
Last day of the sort of round games in the second section, and then it's finals time. So the top 4 will then go into a 1v2, get a double chance, and 3v4.
It's kind of an IPL style playoff,
IPL
isn't it?
style,
Yeah,
yeah.
very
So
good.
with the results going around today, it's almost wrapping up the Dutch summer. It usually finishes mid-September these days, so a couple of weeks to go.
Top of the table, PJB, HBS in second. And it looks like a bit of a shootout between HCC.
Oh,
Edwards has got more than enough of this. Well, it's not a trademark Edwards stroke, but he's played in a different manner today. Picks that one up right out of the screws. But I think it's landed over on the cycle path all the way for 6.
yeah, massive 6 from Edwards. Really got the leverage, got the height, and got the distance. Bang, it did right on the cycle. Oh, on the cycle path, and thankfully it wasn't 2 seconds later.
Well, we don't know. We think he might have smashed a police car window already in this innings. And he's very nearly taken out a couple of cyclists. That ball might not be coming back for a little while. There's the 6 bowlers that have been used. USA's plans have been torn asunder by an absolute onslaught from the men in orange, who've been so good. Yeah, HCC. What's that? The Hague Cricket Club, is it?
Yep, correct.
Voorburg Cricket Club and the VRA, one of the main grounds up in Amsterdam. They're the 3 shooting out for 3rd and 4th. I don't know the results today, but big shout out to, I know Rod Lyle and Bertus de Jong will be keeping everyone up to date with one of the longest standing leagues in the world, been running since the 19th century.
Yeah,
It's really, it's a big deal here, isn't it?
It's a massive deal. And a lot of those games might be ending around about this time, actually, because they all start at 11. Sometimes they've been rolled early, I've heard. So great day to come down, join that crowd and watch the cricket. With 4 overs to go, Netherlands trying to pass that 200 sort of milestone. They haven't done it too often in their history, but they're on for it.
And this is what it's all about, kids having a knock-up and a hit-up on the outfield, seeing what it's like at the very top level of international cricket, and seeing their World Cup heroes. Thought they were so good in phases of that World Cup out in India last year. They flew the associate flag, battled every odd to get there, as Drysdale will bowl his third. Edged into his pad, and a good call from Edwards. I don't think Klein was altogether aware as to where the ball had gone. They'll get through for 1.
You know what I really liked about Edwards' innings so far, we know that he's got that reputation as the deflector, the funky shots, runs really hard. There's actually been a bit of power hitting to his game today, which is nice to see. The shot over cover, that last pickup shot there, hasn't pulled out the ramp, hasn't really played anything too crazy. I think there was only 1 reverse sweep and he got 3 for it. So Edwards just showing a different style to his game today, and he's cashing in 56 off 28. There's still a fair few balls to go as well.
You love the way he's gone about it. It's been kind of a... Are we seeing a Edwards 2.0 here, or was that too big a call from kind of just one innings?
You said he turned 28 the other day, and he's now going to completely be this new man. And well, this is a new sort of innings from Edwards.
I'm going to ask him that later. Is this Edwards 2.0? I will say one thing as well. I think Edwards has grown hugely in the captaincy. You'll know him even better than I do, but I think at first when he came into it, he probably spoke a little nervously, I don't want to use the word awkward within it, but he didn't quite, I don't know, get it all, did he?
I can tell you a little inside story. He used to be very, very nervous about the cameras and everything. Actually, he's a good friend of mine. I drove to a hotel one night and we actually practiced a little bit of media training because it's not something that comes natural to him, but he's really grown into it over the last couple of years, and I think the captaincy's actually put some good sort of responsibility on his shoulders.
Good running will get a second, and he's the opposite now. I think he's not only comfortable with it, but he speaks quite honestly and openly and with good insight. He doesn't give you, I won't name names, but some other leaders around the top 20 teams, you can almost tell you before you ask the question what the response is going to be. They'll give you the templated, very boring answers, which, well, I don't think it's great for the game, is it? Whereas I think if Scott will be honest enough to tell you when he thinks the side have been poor, and actually even when they won 2 days ago, he was very much of the opinion they didn't play very well.
You know, he was a bit disappointed with the bowling and the fielding. So no, he wears his heart on his sleeve, and I think you get that honesty in his interviews now and how he talks to media, which is actually quite a nice touch to get that sort of raw, organic captaincy. And he's grown in it. I think Ryan Cook came in at the right time for his captaincy as well, and then those two have grown really well together. And this Netherlands team, winning's a habit, and they just have that habit at the moment.
They have the most brilliant culture around the group as well. And even though it hasn't been a blitz in the last couple of overs, they've just had such a good start, and they're continuing to tick along without really any massive strokes at kind of 8, 9, 10 and over. There's been very few small overs. 200 plus is a certainty now. What can they get to?
3 overs to go after this, 19 deliveries. I think they're going to want 40. 40 off their 3 overs is a fair enough reflection of what we've seen, and that will get them in the 220 range. That would be their second highest T20I score ever, 247 being the most. Not going to get up to those dizzying heights, but anything over 200 is very impressive.
Gives himself some room outside the leg stump. He's going to want 2 again, and well, this is brilliant cricket. Great judgment and awareness, and also exceptional conditioning from Edwards to be able to get back for 2. He's been out there a long time. The intensity of the modern T20I game, well, you put a lot of your athleticism and your strength, your conditioning on the line. The Dutch have been brilliant. They're 185 for 4. It's the highest score of the series. It's going to be one of the highest that they'll ever have made. I don't think they're going to go past that 247, but they will crack 200 for the 4th time in their T20I history.
Yeah, they really look like they've been on it from ball 1. I think the first delivery went for 4. As we have a little look at what's around the corner. This is that massive event I was talking about, our marquee event, the ECC, coming September 23rd on the ECN. All these nations are playing in T10 cricket in Malaga, Andalusia region in Spain. I'll be out there. And it's such a great competition. It grows the game. You have the sort of the Europa League first, ECCX, and you can see on the other side, ECC, Netherlands 11, Ireland 11, Scotland 11 in the same group, and the winner of Group A, B, C, and D, they will play the English 11.
Okay, so England go automatically
for winning the competition last year. Yeah, so it's brilliant. And the exposure that some of these players get to. Hey, I got a good one for you. You know the Hungarian team in Group B, Lias Deploy played for them last year, came out and absolutely whacked it.
Yeah, I heard he smashed it everywhere. I really like this is a new structure, is it?
Yeah, it's to give the sort of the more developing smaller nations a little bit of a different competition.
And a chance to, I suppose, experience success. Now, Klein has hit this towards Harmy, who puts it down. It was a great effort. It really was, to his weaker side. He almost did all the hard work and got both hands to it, but it pops out.
Yeah, just cramped for a little bit of room there, Klein, and top effort. He got there, just popped out maybe as the elbows hit the turf, and it'll just be one run.
Yeah, Jesse Singh has had a bit of a torrid day, but what he did 24 hours ago was come back brilliantly in his final 2 overs. He's going to have to here.
Well, here's an interesting one. It looks like square leg's been brought into the ring, and deep mid-off is going to go back. Now, that surprises me. So you've got third in the ring, you've got fine leg in the ring, and you've got square leg in the ring and cover. Now, Edwards loves a ramp. He loves trying to play the reverse ramp, the scoop, the sweep. Surely he's going to go across his stumps and try sweep this.
And Singh he's not slow, but he's not rapid either. So Singh won't have that kind of pace that will necessarily threaten Edwards from doing that. Might not even just be the ramp or the scoop. He might even look at kind of a power sweep, a hard slog sweep off the fast bowler. But the line was the good one from Jesse Singh.
Yeah, it's a high-risk field to Edwards, who doesn't mind getting funky when he has to.
Yeah, it's what he attempts, but Singh holds his nerve and gets it where he wants. But good running will pick up a couple. Jones is fast, but Edwards and Klein are even quicker. USA, understandably, have been fiercely flat, haven't they, in the field? And they know they're on the tail end of a bit of a shallacking in the first innings. They almost look like they just want to get off and try and get their chance to chase this total down.
Yeah, it just sort of feels since Levitt and O'Dowd exploded at the top, USA have just been trying to play catch-up in this game, and they're doing the best they can. These two are running extremely well between the wickets. 61 now for Edwards.
Good stroke, inside out over extra. Jahangir can't cut that off. The home crowd are loving every second of this. They're really getting into it. Edwards playing the innings of his T20I career.
Yeah, what a shot. And that's one thing. If you are going to go with this ploy and have three back on the offside, you do televise where you're bowling. And Edwards this time says, I'm going to stay still and I'm going to back myself to hit it over cover.
Telegraph.
Telegraph.
You done it again?
Please. It's 5:15. I've been awake early.
You just want to say we're televising round the world.
Of course I do. Willow TV everywhere. Telegraph.
Now the reverse.
Oh,
sensational. Edwards, quite brilliant. And this, well, maybe the best of the lot. Audacious, no doubt. But he pulls it off in real style.
Just silly batting, isn't it? Extremely brave and class, and just it oozes talent. Now, he's had this ability for many years, Edwards, and yeah, it's top shot.
Singh has telegraphed where the ball's going to go.
Yeah,
and as a consequence, but that's a great skill now for Edwards. We know he's able to play that shot, but we haven't really seen that one over extra that much.
He's played shots this innings that obviously he's been working on that we don't often see in his repertoire.
Some similar delivery, 4 runs in 2 different parts of the ground. And as a consequence, the bowler's going, well, what do I do here? Where do I bowl? They're going to try and run 2, and a direct hit would have been out. And I'm not quite sure how even Nitish Kumar, who's a fine fielder, is allowed 2 there. 18 bowled, 198 for 4. The Dutch sensational. Mayank Patel, he does not look happy, the American captain. He's not for the first time in this innings. He's given a few of his fielders, and indeed his bowler, Jesse Singh, a bit of a spray.
Yeah, they're not too happy at the moment. You can understand why. The running between the wickets has resulted in extra 2s, and well, at the moment 198 on the board. They're looking for about a 220, 230, aren't they?
230, I would not rule that out. We've tended to see some very big finishes. Drysdale will have the tall task of bowling the 19th. I think Singh might bowl the 20th then. USA have looked a little ramshackle. They've not looked like the side we've seen all tour. You have to remember, if you didn't get to watch the ODIs, you might look at the results and go, okay, well, they played 4, they won 2. They actually dominated all 4 of those matches. And really, the positions they had in both of the games against the Netherlands, they should have won both of them, especially the first one. Today has been a completely different scenario. Edwards was thinking of the second, but he had to take evasive action at the non-striker's end as Klein nearly cleans him up.
And that takes them to 199, so 1 away from 200. They'll have to get that list back up and see where they're going on their highest T20I totals. I think they've got a good shot to get to second spot for them. First time in a while they'll crack 200, 247. Were you there for the 247?
Yeah,
you must have been. Yes, of course.
135. I don't miss any of the games
No,
in
you don't.
Kathmandu. Not in Nepal. Can't miss them out there. There is the 200 up, and it's brought up with a misfield. Harmeet Singh of all people. And I think as soon as that ticks over, there's going to be loud cheers all the way around the ground. There must be, 500, 600, 700 people in here today, and they're loving every second of this. It's been, well, adoration right from the off.
Well, one thing, first 200 in Holland, in the Netherlands. So they've done it in Namibia and obviously in Dubai. But yeah, the first ever time beating the 199 in Rotterdam against Zimbabwe a couple of years ago. So credit to the Dutch here, 200 on the board.
And this one's down the ground. He's got it nice and straight, and he'll get 4. It is Edwards 2.0. It's maybe Eagle time. Eagle Edwards into his second incarnation as an international batter. He is taking flight. This is as well as I've ever seen him play.
Well, this is long and far from his best ever T20 inning. This is fantastic. Making 77 off 37. But
There's a sniff.
Yeah,
there's
there's
a
9
sniff.
balls to go here.
They're both exhausted.
Yeah, they're gone.
They've put their bodies absolutely on the line.
He's hit zones on the field that we don't usually see him hit. Really good batting from Edwards.
Gets no power or timing behind this one, and even Edwards says, no, I can't take flight this time. I'll just be happy with the single. See House doing the fielding there. Are you surprised by that? He's a class gloveman, and Patel's had problems in the ODIs.
You've mentioned that a few times. Yeah, there must be something in the think tank. The coaching staff and the captain must be having some sort of reason. I don't know what it is, but yeah, they definitely believe that he should be keeping and not behind well, they must be getting behind the skipper. They must be. The skipper must be saying, I want
Captain's
it.
prerogative, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. Now, Klein would love a boundary or 2 here. He's got to 10. He'd like to get more. Hasn't quite shown that power or timing that he's been able to show in the top class. It's obviously that is one of the challenges. I know there's the Pro Series for the Netherlands, which is an important part of the structure, but there has to be a big jump up from top class to this.
Yeah, massively. Oh, beyond belief, actually. This level of cricket's well, some of the best players and teams you'll see in the world playing here in the Netherlands with Pakistan, England, all these teams touring a few years ago. And yeah, there is a big gap. The Pro Series tries to, well, sort of get in between that gap and make it a little bit easier for the transition of very talented Dutch players. As we get to the last ball of the 19th.
Edwards will get a single. In fact, he's going to get 2. Well, now that's unbelievable, really. That was 1 all day. And the fielder out there, I think it's Yasser Mohammed, who's a fine fielder, has just allowed the second. Great efforts and energy from Ryan Klein. He hasn't really got many out of the middle, but he's run his heart out for his captain. It's been a good partnership. This one is worth very nearly 50 now. It's worth 43, and the 2, like, well, every single one of the Dutch players who's come out has been enthusiastic, energetic, and the USA have been anything but.
Yeah, Harmeet Singh might be turning to his teammates and saying, what's going on? So he has amazing figures of 1 for 19 off his 4.
That's a Rashid Khan-esque card, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it
You used to always see those, didn't you? Where Rashid Khan would go at 4s, everyone else would go at 10s or 12s or even 14s or 15s. Definitely questions to answer for USA, and Van Schalkwyk will have the unenviable task of bowling the 20th and final over. 209 on the board. You would imagine, well, with just 1 more run, they'll make their 2nd highest ever total. So it'll only be behind Namibia. 247. That might take a while before that's broken.
Yeah, 247 is the top end, you'd imagine. Yeah, 6 balls to go. Klein's looked okay without getting the big shot in there. If he can get 1 or 2 big shots, walk off with a 25 not out or something like that, it'll give him a lot of confidence. He's really worked hard to get into this side as just a pure batter.
Gets this a long way up, and I don't think he's got it. Nitish Kumar comes in, comes underneath it, and holds on. He's an excellent fielder, was never going to drop that. Yeah, Klein will be a bit frustrated, won't he? Never quite looked like he was going to be able to get one out of the screws. He'll have to settle for 11 off 11 deliveries as Kumar holds on for a good catch. Credit to Van Schalkwyk, 3rd wicket for him.
Yeah, 3rd wicket for him, keeping it wide, keeping it slow, pace off it, and Klein could only reach and sort of pop an easy catch to deep mid off. So USA still fighting hard. Klein, still work to do, obviously. He's got some ability, but just couldn't get the big boundary there. As Noah Kroos, who's come into the side, comes out with a few balls left, and I dare say, these two bats similarly usually. You might see a ramp, a reverse, or something a bit funky here.
It may be a surprise you didn't see Kroos ahead of Klein, but there might be a little bit of the situation and the game playing into that. The coaching staff want to give Klein a bit of a go in this finisher role. He looks pretty forlorn, trudging off, doesn't he? It's a sprinkling of applause from the Dutch crowd. So 5 deliveries left. Might just see a single. You might just think the best option is to give Edwards a strike. And Kroos will probably do even more than that. He's going to get 4. Little bit edgy, maybe a bit streaky. Man out there at deep backward point, can't cut it off.
I actually give him a little. I think he's run that down pretty well. I think he's looking for. Mate's got a bit finer than he intended, but he gets 4 and didn't get funky. I think he was looking for the 1 to deep point and then got a little bit further behind. He gets 4 for the total. He's a very talented player, and good to see him selected today. I think he adds a little bit of flair to this Dutch side, and he'll be looking to make the number 6 spot his own.
Just wonder there, you better get in the single. Get Edwards on, see if Edwards can get into the 90s.
Small margins, isn't it? Square leg was in the ring and fine leg in the ring, so he thought, you know what, any bat, I get that away. Just missed it. 213. I think Edwards is blowing pretty hard at the non-striker's end as well.
Taking some very deep breaths, there's no doubt about that. Now Edwards is, I think, going to take the second. Remarkable appetite for runs, isn't there?
He's
like
quick.
Many other batters there would just have taken a single and wanted the strike.
Yeah, many other, but he's a selfless man and he wants to do everything for the team. And that's the example you set. He's showing the example to all the players in the dugout that if there's a 2, you take it. He could easily have just walked the 1 there and taken the strike. You're absolutely correct.
The appetite is
huge.
Incredible, yeah. Just lovely scenes around the ground as well. We're seeing dads and sons, mums and daughters. This is inspiring stuff, I have to say, in Utrecht. Lots of kids in. I don't think you can help but be inspired by this Dutch performance. They're playing a lovely brand of cricket. This is an American side. Okay, there's no Netra Valker, there's no Corey Anderson, there's no Ali Khan, but it's an American side apart from those 3 that went to the Super 8s no more than 2 months ago. Schalkwyk pulls out. He's forgotten where to deliver that one. He says, "Oh God."
I don't know if Edwards just sort of got into the side of his running and it put him off a little bit. Just they're having a good laugh. There was nothing sort of sinister in there. Just watch Edwards here. Sort of went, held, and yeah, just a bit of byplay, I think.
I have to say again, if you're a youngster watching on, watch Scott Edwards backing up. He does everything you should. Watches the bowler release, and he's off the mark immediately. There's nothing wrong with that. That's just good technique, good knowledge of the laws, and it buys you a significant number of runs per innings.
Well, how many runs did him and Ryan Klein steal there just in that 15, 20 minutes? Maybe 10 to 12?
Yeah.
Just those extra runs that a lot of players and partnerships wouldn't get. So, yeah, he's really set the tone and showed a lot of the youngsters at the ground how to go about your business. It's been a breakout T20 innings for him. 80 off 39, as you'd imagine. Gets one more bite of the cherry to hit another 6.
Eddie the Eagle Edwards.
Eddie the Eagle.
It's Edwards 2.0. He is flown. He's been so brilliant today. He deserves to finish with a boundary. And here's an ironic shout of no ball from the crowd. I think they wanted it rather than saw it, and that will be a single to round out. Well, what a fantastic innings. It's been highly entertaining too. Levitt and O'Dowd at the top, exceptional, and then Edwards comes in and plays the innings of his T20I career, maybe the innings of his international career, to be honest. I can't think of him ever having played better. He scores and finishes with a strike rate of over 200, 81 off 40, and ultimately the Dutch, the second highest total in their T20I history, they're going to finish with 217 on the board.
Yeah, and their highest on Dutch soil. That'll make them very proud indeed as we have a quick look at the highlights. And, well, it's a bit of a blitzkrieg at the start. 4 boundaries in the very first over, all to Michael Levitt, who is really making a name for himself in the world with his opening batting and his dynamite play. And it was him and Max O'Dowd. Max O'Dowd got going straight away as well. And the USA, Lenny, they were trying their best to peg it back, but it was an amazing opening partnership.
And he's such a dynamic ball striker. It doesn't matter whether it's seam or spin, he takes it on. I thought O'Dowd was much more fluent today. It goes without saying, 28 off 13 rather than none off 11. There are light years between the way in which he played. And that pitch, it showed no ill effects. Kids in the outfield were right over the rope. They loved every second. Levitt, some of the power of the ball striking, it was quite sensational. Then 2 wickets fell on the same score. O'Dowd was the first to go, held down at long on, and then Vikramjit Singh, he went soon after. He was caught at mid-wicket. Yasser Mohammed, he was sparingly used, only the 2 overs for him. The reason why, they went for 31.
Yeah, went for 31. They were throwing their bodies everywhere, USA, but a lot of the balls were going over the rope. Was this the one?
No, it was the one.
There was one here that did end up maybe getting Edwards in a little bit of trouble with the police later. But it was an amazing show for the kids that have been out here. A lot of people have rocked up to come watch this game. And, well, this was the dismissal of Levitt. He'll be disappointed because he was staring down the barrel of his second T20I ton.
Yeah, Shadley van Schalkwyk had a pretty good day with the ball in amongst the carnage, as did Harmeet Singh. They took 4 of the 5 wickets to fall, but there was plenty of good moments. Even young Zackley and Cachet got a monster over the rope before being cleaned up by one that just nipped back in a touch to hit the top of middle. He was cleaned up comprehensively. Ryan Klein never got going, but Edwards just kept doing his brilliant work. 4 4s and 4 6s, including one that nearly took out a pair of cyclists. Some fantastic innovation too. Himself and Klein, they put on a really, really well put together 45. It came in good time, and the home fans loved every second of it.
Yeah, they really did love every second of it. They've watched the highest score from the Netherlands on Dutch soil in T20I cricket, and that is something they'll always be able to look back and say, I was there. As we have a quick look at the scorecard, and, well, it was explosive. The Netherlands clicked at the top. It was Levitt and O'Dowd that got them off to a flyer, and then Edwards really rammed it home.
Yeah, and the other thing you have to remember is there's a couple of spinning options today for the Dutch, so they'll be very confident of withholding this total. If you think of how well Harmeet Singh bowled, you'd imagine Aryan Dutt and Daniel Dorham will look to do the same. He was the standout bowler without a doubt, the standout batter. That was Scott Edwards, 81, exceptional. But look at Harmeet Singh's economy, 4.75. Well, the shining light amidst the wreckage, and credit to Shadley van Schalkwyk too, who finished with 3 for 35 and a wicket for Janoy Drysdale. But he was expensive today, as was Kenjigay, Singh and Mohammed. USA left with plenty of questions with regards to the makeup of their bowling attack and how they're going to go about chasing this total down.
They're going to need a good power play, that's for sure. And maybe, just maybe, we're in for an amazing second half. But you'd have to imagine the Netherlands with 217 on the board, they'll go into this second innings very, very confident.
Yeah, you'd think that certainly the Dutch are going to look to stay perfect through these ODIs. They were 4-4. They're 1-0 in the T20Is. You'd have to think they might be 2-0 in about 2 hours' time. The good news is you're not going to have to wait long for plenty more action in the second innings. Can the USA pull off a heist here? To do so, they will need to chase the highest total in their T20I history. They'll need the best part of 11 runs from every over, right from the off. It's a 10.9 they need. Don't go anywhere too far. You can come and join us for every ball of it in less than 10 minutes' time.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the European Cricket Network. We're here at the halfway stage between the Netherlands taking on USA at beautiful Utrecht at Kampong Cricket Club, and we have witnessed a batting blitz. Netherlands an amazing 217 for 5, their highest T20I score on home soil, their second highest in their history. And it was an amazing show from Michael Levitt. Max O'Dowd at the top chipped in there as well. But Scotty Edwards, 81 off 44 fours, 4 sixes, really stood out. Do USA have something to give here and maybe give us one of the more exciting chases in world cricket? We'll have to wait and see. I am with my good friend and co-commentator, Andrew Leonard. What a batting blitz.
Yeah, it was just highly entertaining, wasn't it? Really well thought out and structured. I think that is the template, isn't it? That I know all of the Dutch backroom staff and alongside the skipper Edwards will have been working so hard to implement. That's, I think, the perfect template of a T20I innings for them. And well, Scott Edwards, the star of the show, we thought it would be all, the discussion would be about Michael Levitt, but even Edwards outscored him. Yeah,
I think you mentioned it just at the end of his innings. Might be one of his best innings, if not his best in orange colours. Look, it's his best T20I innings, that's for sure. I know he has very good ODI numbers, but he'll be very happy indeed with his work as the players have made their way to the middle. It's going to be the ever impressive Kyle Klein on your screen. And boy, he's had a good summer with the ball also.
Yeah, he's been superb. I thought he was probably the pick of all the bowlers in the ODI series that preceded this. But yeah, just remarkable from Scott Edwards. His strike rate over 200. Levitt was brilliant with 68 off 34. O'Dowd 28 off 13. That's a good contribution at the top. Lion Cachet and Klein didn't really get going, but the Dutch have posted a majestic 217. It should be more than enough. What Monank Patel and Andrews House, who I'm really looking forward to watching bat in particular, will be trying to do is to get them off to a flyer and give the Dutch a few wobbles in the chase.
Percentage chance for USA from here? Honest answer?
Well, the supercomputer is...
Whoa. Whoa.
I think that's...
Well, we're in for a good couple of hours.
No, that's... It did just... I think it just flipped there. It was 87% Netherlands. I think the graphics will flick around. I think even the 13%...
Generous. What do you think? USA here? 5% chance? 1? 10?
That'll help. A boundary to get things going. Not a good delivery from Klein. Down the leg side. All Patel needed to do was get any bat on it. Highly unlikely, but in T20I cricket, you never know.
I'm going to get around him a little bit. A good power play here. None for, let's say, 70 off the power play. Game on for me.
The reason I'd still say no, even if they have that brilliant power play, Daniel Dorham, Arjan Dutt.
Oh, Arjan Dutt especially coming in makes things a bit complicated, doesn't it?
Those 8 overs, and then the pace and the brilliance of Paul van Meekeren as well. Yeah, not convinced. Interesting to see the Dutch start from this end, though. It does mean that if it gets that far, the 20th over for USA will be hitting with the wind. They're the only team to have done that throughout this series.
It's something that I know you brought up with Scott Edwards a few days ago, and it doesn't seem like he's adhered to your advice.
It went in one ear and out the other. He said, oh God, Lenny's talking cricket to me. I'll just ignore that. That's what Scotty Edwards said. Yeah, it's less than a 1%er, but it is something that, you know, in a game that could be tighter, could be costly. Big swing and a miss. We thought we'd see the seamers of good success from this end. With 11 runs required per over, you can't really afford too many bad overs. And as you rightly said, Corey, the power play has to be a flying start.
Yeah, the PP, the power play has to go big, has to go really big. And well, these are two players at the crease that do have that ability. Can they get Team USA off to a flyer and dare to dream? It would be some sort of record chasing this in the Netherlands.
Angling down. Don't think there's any bat involved, but that's what Klein, he does so well. His predominant, his kind of majority of his deliveries, he will angle in and also get to nip in off the seam, but he occasionally gets one to go the other way too.
Yeah, he does. He's a skiddy bowler, and I was noting the Dutch Brain Trust that They think he's one of the few bowlers that hits the stumps probably 40% of the time. He really looks to hit that timber, so difficult to get away. Doesn't offer much width, and he's having a golden summer.
Big swing and a miss. Patel likes it down the ground, but not able to get much reward. 4 from the first over. They'll need more than that. Andreas House is called for a little bit of...
Yeah, actually, he's pulled up a little bit here as he went to get back into his crease in the previous over. I don't know, I spotted a little twist of his ankle, and he's gone straight down. The shoe's coming off, and hopefully he's okay.
Yeah, Asa Joseph is on. She is the S&C. I think it's Asia Joseph, not Rejan Chin, who's on. They're the dynamic duo from Trinidad and Tobago who keep the American team fit and healthy.
Yeah, well, there he is, and well, that's not what you want. You haven't faced a ball yet, and something must be wrong. That's not a good sign.
Sorry, it's Rejan Chin. It's not Asia. The physio's on, not the S&C coach. So that's the Trinidad side of the support staff.
I still think our supercomputer's been quite generous. Don't know many chases.
Well, at least it's flipped the right way now. it had USA 87% for a moment.
At least it has flipped.
Yeah.
I hope he's okay. I mean, a lot of people have come out to watch him bat. He's got an amazing name for himself. But yeah, obviously a little ankle or lower calf problem. We'll have to monitor that. As Arian Dutt selected into the side, one of the best right arm off spinners with the new ball. He's very crafty.
Slip in place, 2 allowed outside the circle for these first 6 overs. That's how the power play works. If you're just watching cricket maybe for one of the first times, delighted to have you here. Great to hear so many of you tuning in your thousands right around the world on YouTube, on the European Cricket Network, in India, Fan Code, and then of course our friends over in North America watching live on Willow TV. Very good morning to you all there in North America. Still not even midday on the east coast of the States. What can Andreas House provide? Can he find some fireworks? Maybe a leg side wide. There's a bit of turn on offer. Dutt, it's kind of the quality and the brilliance of his numbers have been built up in ODI cricket, but we both think he's got a big role to play in T20I too.
Yeah, he's very young indeed as well. Another young player in this Dutch lineup, and they love having him in this T20 lineup when they can. Just a combination thing for the Netherlands. Getting a little bit of purchase there as it does turn. He's quick through the air. He's got a very good arm ball. But yeah, he just offers something to this side. And you touched on his batting as well. If he can get that up another, say, 10, 15%, he's going to be an all-round threat in a couple of years to come.
He's already played 42 ODIs, but just 14 T20s. Daniel Dorham will do the fielding. That is the other reason, isn't it? These two, can you see either of these two going at over 10s and over? Dorham or Dutt?
I'm going to say traditionally no, but it does look like a good surface. USA have a reputation for having a good T20 program. They really lit it up at the World Cup. You never know. Going to have to get off to a fly though. Need someone to click now.
Patel hits this a long way up, and he gets more than enough of it. Oh, that's gone miles. Gone even further than I thought it would. That's going to help. Madank Patel gets one right out of the screws. How far has that gone?
Oh, well, to be fair, look, Dutt usually has an amazing economy in that, but he is a right arm offie, bowling to right-handed batters, and that has flown. So there's a 6. That gets the things moving. They're going to have to try and take them down. Try and take Dutt down here and give Netherlands something to think about.
Going to be back-to-back boundaries, this time through the offside, gives himself a bit of room. Dutt didn't leave the stumps, Patel did. 4 more.
And that was Francesco Valdini with the fielding out there. Another Kampong cricketer, and good bit of fielding from him. The fans are being treated to a bit of a batting day, and always nice to see that the fans have come in. Good arm.
Big smile.
Yeah, oh, they love it. They love the cricket
Solid
out here
technique.
in the Netherlands.
Slip comes out of place, and in comes an extra bit of protection to that ring field in the offside, and Dutt will come round the wicket too. Wait is the call. Max O'Dowd does the fielding. We saw him warm up extensively. Is he the sixth bowling option?
Yeah, I believe so. In this lineup, in this combination, obviously Saqib Zulfikar going out, who bowled a couple. Max O'Dowd might be used today, and well, he's had an interesting time with the ball in the past.
I'm surprised to see Glover left out, I have to say. I thought he would have been a good option. Yeah, this one is hacked out towards the man and taken. And Aryan Dutt strikes back, and isn't he pumped up about it? Huge celebrations. It's a very well judged catch by Ryan Klein out there. It did just dine him a little bit with the wind, if anything. And Patel got 10 in the over, but he'll get no more.
Well, he actually decided to come around the wicket, cramp him for room, and it's a good catch in the end. It did dine the wind. Great call, Lenny. And Ryan Klein kept his wits about him. And USA, well, they're going to be throwing as many punches as they can, but it's not going to be easy. And Aryan Dutt's actually looking like he's getting a bit of purchase off this surface as well. So quick spin, and an early one goes down here at Kampong Cricket Club.
Yeah, this is a very well judged catch. And such is the quality of the Dutch fielding that there was no point when that was in the air that we thought he might put it down. More treatment for House from the USA team physio. Nitish Kumar will come out at number 3. I think he's got a real point to prove, because those who know the associate game couldn't quite believe he wasn't in the ODI squad, but he's now in the T20 team, and he'll have to kind of show his wares across these 3 potential innings in this tri-series. The Dutch on top of that table that you just saw, 16 for 1 after 2. You lose wickets in the power play. You've got a long tail as well.
I guess the one fleeting thing that you can look into for them, it's one of those chases. You just have to keep going. It's not like a 140 where you sort of have to think about your tempo. And that. This is bang, bang, bang. And look, they could get rolled for 60 trying it, but it's one mind, one mindset, and give it your all and see where you end up.
You're almost better doing that than, just batting and getting up to 150, 160. And what House is particularly good at is anything short. One of the other things that has so impressed me about the Dutch, they do so much research, don't they, on their opposition. They don't necessarily have a dedicated team analyst. I think it's kind of shared around, isn't it, between the two Ryans, Ryan Cook, the head coach, Ryan van Niekerk, Kyle O'Koon. Yeah,
there's a couple of apps they use together, and then they'll go and have their meetings. I know Scott Edwards spends a lot of time on it, and there's a data-driven team. They really do enjoy that, so it's paid off for them of late, and expect to see it happen more in the future. So as a consequence, I would expect nothing to be bowled short to Andrews House, because he'll murder you there, and the Dutch will know that. It's not like they're coming in with a new player into the T20I setup and the Dutch won't have their bowling plans to him. You can see very clearly, don't leave the stumps, go full. He's not as strong there as he is on anything short. Yeah, and you'd imagine you wouldn't be bowling short to maybe the shorter boundary and the breeze. So, yeah, Kyle Klein, he's had a great summer so far, and once again proving difficult to get away with that new ball. Thuds into the pad and given. It's jagged back. House can't believe it. He thinks it's too high, but Klein doesn't leave the stumps. It's exactly the game plan we were just talking about. He's got another. What a home summer he is having. House with the big reputation. He falls. He's disgusted with the decision, but he's got to go. He just hurries you up. That's exactly what he does. It comes straight through. Let's have a look at the height. Well, it's the back leg, yeah. It's a tough one. You know what? Looking front on from the umpire, I can sort of understand. I'll have to see it maybe from side on if you think that's going over or not. You see, the reason House will be frustrated is it's hit his thigh pad, but the back leg is bent because his front leg is extending. So the front leg is out there, and the back leg, as a consequence,
This is the one,
will be a little bit down. Look at the way in which it will come down. So it's into a crouched position. For me, it's definitely going on to be straight enough. The question is height. No, that's out for me. That ball, fair enough, is kissing the stumps. Oh, that's it. Only has to touch the bow. From Ninton Barty's looking from straight on. It's pitching just out, slightly outside off, hitting him straight in line. And if he thinks, look, that's going to clip the bows, that's all it has to do. And the other thing you got to remember, get one more look at it there. You have to think of what the umpire, he's been painted a picture of. He's been painted a picture of, okay, where is this ball going to go?
and every time Klein bowls, he doesn't leave the stumps.
He's very lucky not to get run out anyway. Here came the throw. So,
well, he was already walking up. He's not happy with the decision. He has gone off quickly, but Klein was pumped up in a big way. This could get ugly for USA. They're 2 down. There's only 15 deliveries being bowled. Aaron Jones, the vice captain, to the crease. He's going to need something miraculous like he pulled off in the T20 World Cup opener. And he's habitually a slow starter. That's the last thing that USA can afford. But what else can he do? 2 down already, USA.
yeah, 2 down, and Kyle Klein continues his magnificent summer. Yeah, there was a statistic going around that 40% of Kyle Klein's deliveries are hitting the stumps. He is that type of bowler. He's very full, very straight and skiddy. He's not the tallest of men, but boy, he's added something to this Dutch lineup. He's another one they've found. They've got a plethora of fast bowlers in the county system, in the country, and he's just added something, a bit more flair to it.
Goes Fuller this time, and a great diving stop at mid-wicket. You can see the game plan. You can see the intensity from the Dutch. And what's been a great summer for Dutch cricket. They just keep doing all the small things right.
And I love this. Like, there's a bit of the crowd, but it's starting to filter all the way around the oval. We've got fans to the left of your screen there as well. All the local cricket's finished now, 6 p.m. So come down, watch your country take on USA, and can USA give us something to talk about here? It's not going to be easy, but they've got to get a wriggle on.
First delivery of the tour, Nitish Kumar is going to face. Goes full and goes straight. It's a simple game plan, but it's a very effective one. USA still need more than 200. They're 2 down. They've got 17 overs to get there. 17 for 2.
Yeah, it's a beautiful shot there. Some kids have started to arrive at the back end of the ground as well, coming around to watch their heroes.
How much do the Dutch deserve more playing opportunities at the men's and women's international level? You look at what Cricket World Cup League 2 does for them. I know they'll want to have not come down from the Super League, but the Super League is no more for the moment.
What I would love to see happen more probably in the Netherlands is obviously England's just around the corner, and you have a lot of great big touring teams playing over there. Australia are now playing Scotland, I think, very soon indeed. I know you're going over to call those games. I would love to see some of the touring teams that are coming to England please come over a couple of weeks before, because that Dutch summer, the crazy summer, we had Pakistan, West Indies, New Zealand, England. It was magnificent, and I think this Netherlands team would love to have something like that again.
Well, if you look at that English home summer, they're obviously one of the biggest cricketing nations in the world, and they get their fixtures announced well in advance. So next summer, for the men's team, Zimbabwe come to play a test match for the first time, and I think it's over 20 years. They'll play in Trent Bridge in Nottingham. That's in May. West Indies are coming over for 3 ODIs. As Jones gets that trademark slog sweep out and should pick up a couple, as Klein does really well in the deep. They're also playing 3 T20Is. Then there's 5 test matches against India before they play South Africa right at the tail of the summer in September in ODIs and T20Is. So there you've got 4 test nations coming to England. You might not get India over, okay? India will have a packed schedule, they'll have other commitments, so you might not get India here. But surely there has to be an opportunity for Zimbabwe, West Indies, South Africa, at least 1 or 2 of them. As Jones hits that even better. Again, it's the trademark slog sweep, and he does get 4.
Yeah, lovely shot. It was a full straight, little bit of turn, but it's in the wheelhouse, isn't it? He gets it away. And that, well, I think Scotty Edwards might be tempted to bring long on up. Actually, maybe move backwards, go back. That is his trademark shot. He's very good at it. But you know,
wouldn't you love South Africa and West Indies here?
Well, the Windies have been here. They loved it.
Yeah.
We were talking to a lot of them. They really enjoy their time. South Africa, maybe South Africa don't want to come for other reasons. It's a little bit twitchy playing the Dutch. No, but look, it would be something that I think this Netherlands team, they weren't ready a couple of years ago when they had the big sort of nations come, and there were some difficult results. But this team here and what they're growing now, the confidence now, oh boy, I'd love to see it.
And being frank, they deserve it. Now, there is... We're not remiss to the fact that there's commercial considerations. Of course there is. But there's an appetite for cricket in the Netherlands. And that appetite, it's always been there historically, but it's bigger than it has been for decades right now, thanks to what the men in orange have done. This is edged away. Van Meekeren is going to have to get going. Uphill into the wind. Gets the slide in and gets a cheer for it and keeps it to a couple.
Yeah, that was the arm ball from that. That really slowed up on the outfield as well in that section, but 2 more to the total. No, you're absolutely right. I think the game's growing rapidly. There's more eyeballs than ever on Dutch cricket. If they can get a couple of major teams in every summer, really would add a little bit more flair to an already jam-packed sort of schedule.
Big shot attempted. Doesn't really go where Jones wanted. I'm not sure where he was looking here. Be 2 more. Closes out Dutt's second over. He's got 1 for 22. The score is 27 for 2. One of the challenges the Netherlands will have, like actually Ireland have as well, even though they're a test nation, Scotland have it too, despite their 5 ODI grounds. When the bigger teams come, you feel a kind of need to put in additional infrastructure, temporary seating and the like, and then that kind of does have cost implications.
Oh, look, logistically it's never easy, but to grow the game, more eyeballs on the game, I think it's a necessity. And like, it's brilliant that Australia are going to Scotland. It's really
That's amazing.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're there as well, because you know so much about sort of what Scotland's been going through and all these countries around there, to give that sort of knowledge of the game about the associates and playing full members. And look, I know there's a big brain trust at the KNCB, but I know they're working extremely hard, and hopefully they can pull one of those big teams over next summer.
If you look at the test match that Ireland had last month, to me, it didn't make a lot of sense, Zimbabwe coming all that way for one test. You know, to Europe. You know, it's a long way up. It's a 10-12 hour flight to get up to Europe. Maybe they can start looking at tours like that and say, okay, let's go to the Netherlands for 3 games, up to Scotland for 3 games. Klein's going to continue. And he's given the treatment down the ground. Nitish Kumar is a class act. His first scoring shot of the tour, in his first bat in the tour, will come from his second delivery, and it's all the way for 6.
Beautiful shot, really beautiful shot. Klein is going stump to stump as usual, just chips him pretty nonchalantly over mid-on. It does go for 6. It's been a bit of a hot pocket over there, and the fans have enjoyed themselves, that's for sure.
I was really, really surprised not to see him in the ODI team. He's only qualified for USA and played for them for the first time this year. He joins an exclusive list of players who play for 2 countries. Is a native of Canada, youngest ever to play in an ODI World Cup. This has hit him. Oh, I hope he's going to be all right. Was it glove or what's that come off?
Oh, that looked a little bit nasty. They'll just make sure he's okay. Maybe just hit the glove and went down. He seems okay, but this is Kyle Klein, just hurries you up from time to time. Good to see that he's okay to continue, but yeah, that was a real fast one. Oh yeah, gee, that's could have been a lot worse. Walking into the shot, so maybe high up on the chest, but no physio on the field. He's okay to continue.
For the stumps again, and that's why he's got those 2 mid-wickets. Good game plans. Yeah, we saw Nitish Kumar, I think he was 17 in 2011 when he played for Canada at the World Cup. He's always been a precocious talent, and then it was really when Canada lost their ODI status in 2018, he moved down for work and life opportunities down to Texas, and it's been a bit surreal. And of course, when the fixtures were drawn, fate would have it, playing for USA against his former country. And has this carried? The Dutch think so, and Nitish Kumar is happy to walk off. Kroos, he took a specky, a worldie in the ODIs. This is nearly as good. Diving forward, gets the 2 hands underneath it. He's got the gloves on sometimes. He didn't need them here at mid-wicket.
Yeah, full straight Kroos, and brilliant camera work just to get that. He got his fingers under the ball. No questions from the batsman. That's out. He goes back. Klein's got 2. Netherlands in complete control on their home soil as USA try and get into this match, but it really feels like it's slipping away. Kyle Klein, once again, another wicket to him. And the score now 33 for 3.
And what a reward for Scott Edwards for going with the third consecutive in the power play. That's a superb catch. It's not as spectacular as the Superman effort at second slip, but it's in some ways almost more difficult. Coming forward with a ball hit very flat at you is very difficult.
He's a great fielder for a reserve keeper as well. You've got to wait till you see him with the gloves on.
Often some of the best fielders are.
Yep.
You can't think of many wicket keepers who
Brendan
go...
McCullum,
Yeah.
unbelievable in the field. One thing about Kyle Klein, he makes you question your technique. He brings your technique to the focus all the time. It's full, it's straight. You know what's going to come, but boy, just has a happy knack of picking up wickets.
He constantly puts you under pressure, doesn't he? And you can't ask for much more than that.
What a summer. What a summer from this man on your screen.
Shaihan Jahangir will come in. Number 5, for me, he's the last recognised batter. Which, when you think of the depth of batting quality, I know there's the injury to Stephen Taylor, so it's kind of exaggerated this. But how have USA ended up in a position where they're going to have... It's the 6 players who bowled to come. Van Schalkwyk could be at 6. Harmeet Singh at 7. Jesse Singh at 8.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough when you've got 217 on the board and then you're starting to get into the bowlers so early. I think they'll be going back to the drawing board if it keeps going this way.
Mukamala has to play. He surely has to play the last 2 games. I know Taylor's not going to be able to. And the Dutch constantly at their opposition. Big applause for Daniel Dorham's fielding there. Saves an extra run. That probably would have been 2 in the first innings. 5 bowled, 34 for 3.
A question for you here, Lenny, as we've seen Kyle Klein once again bowl a magnificent 3 overs. Yesterday, a few days ago, when he bowled against Canada, his first 3 were fantastic. Let me interrupt that little story to give you this story. ECC Women's. This is actually our last event of the year, and this is all about promoting women's cricket. This is also in Malaga at Cardamover in Andalusia region in Spain. You have the Challenger Division, Spain, Austria, Germany, Jersey and Czechia. And then you get into the Premier Division, England 11, Irish 11, Scottish 11, Netherlands and Italy. So really looking forward to that. So it looks like it's going to be big man Dom. Let me get back to that question, Lenny. I had a good cricket question for you. Kyle Klein, 3 overs. The other day they didn't let him bowl through. That doesn't usually happen. And his last over went for 21 against Canada. Would you bowl him through here?
100%.
Yeah.
I'm a massive advocate of the Kali Mullah is what we called it. We christened it that because of the big tall fast bowler from Oman. Certain bowlers have different skill sets. He's actually just hobbled off for a bit of treatment. I think he's fine. Shariz Ahmed has come on. That will probably put pay to the fact that he would bowl a 4th. It's a big high five from Vivian Kingma in the team dugouts just to our left. Kingma out with a heel injury today. We don't know for certain. Might not see him again in the series. Here's Daniel Dorham. And this is only going to get harder.
Daniel Dorham could be one of the big finds for them if he can stay fit and play a lot of T20I cricket. Obviously, he's been around many moons, but hasn't played the volume of games. So he broke his hand just before the World Cup. This time, he's back. He starts with a dot, and the next ball punched away beautifully through the offside, and a confidence-building boundary.
He's had a change of ends from where he bowled in the first T20I. But yeah, that required run rate, it's applying a vice-like grip on USA. Even when they get a boundary like that, they still need another one each over, if not another couple.
Daniel Dorham still only 26 and only his 4th T20. Feels like he's been around for a long time.
That's what happens when you debut at 15.
Yeah, crazy, isn't it?
11 years ago.
Yeah, applied his trade a lot, obviously, in the Windies and that. I really think he missed him not being at the World Cup hurt the Dutch a lot more than people realise.
I also think if Kyle Klein could have timed his run a bit better and played a bit more there. I know some of the pitches and the surfaces helped the spinners a bit more, but if he could have got into that starting 11, you think about that game, Netherlands-South Africa, they had South Africa on the ropes at 16 for 4.
Kyle Klein on those wickets, actually, great point. That would have been something to watch.
Yeah, I think he would have been really effective. Funny how it plays out sometimes, isn't it? Jahangir goes over the leg side. It's going to be Ryan Klein. Oh, he does brilliantly. The Dutch are a joy to watch. Everything they do it to the utmost of their ability. You cannot help, you often see Namibia do this. They know their game, and they know that they've got to play to 9 out of 10, close to 10 out of 10 performances to challenge the full members. And they want to do it every time. When they come back and play against the associates, this time there's a bit of a misfield from Sherry Zama. That'll be 4, cut away. Just a bit shorter from Doram. And another fan gets a touch and a good throw in. But they put pressure on you again and again. And even though it's a boundary around it, the power play, that power play, Corey, it belongs very much to the men in orange. It's 44 for 3.
Yeah, 3 big wickets in there. A nice little over there for USA to get them into the 40s. 44 after 6, a long way to go. 174 runs required off 84. These two trying to get the scoring rate up and not lose any more wickets. We know that you've been a little bit critical on the longer tail than the 6 bowlers they selected, so it's not going to be easy.
I don't understand how if one of the top 3 doesn't get you 80 plus, how you're planning to win games. And that's not to take away from Harmeet Singh or Shadi Vanchkalkvek as batters. They are good batters, but they're in the team as bowlers who can bat. I don't think either of them are a top 6 batter, or even close to it. In fact, even at 7, okay, Harmeet Singh's had some great performances with the bat. I think he's a little high in international cricket and some club stuff, domestic stuff in the United States. Very much good enough at the top. Van Meekeren into the attack. And he is driven firmly to O'Dowd, who fields well.
I mean, brilliant fielding from O'Dowd. He's going to get a bit of a high five from a few of his teammates. Saves a couple of extra runs. What I like about the Netherlands is the versatility. We saw Paul Van Meekeren the other day opening the bowling. He bowled the new ball. Now today they're going to go, look, you in the middle, be the enforcer there. So I really do enjoy that they change it up often, use their analytics quite well, and have really improved a lot in the last couple of years.
Jones goes over one of his favourite regions now. Has this gone all the way? Oh, yes, it has. Power pack strike from Aaron Jones, and that brings, well, very nearly the 50 up. Has it brought the 50 up? It has with the 6.
It has, and well, Jones, we saw him at the World Cup. We know what he can do in this format. Really lit it up, didn't he, in that opening match versus Canada. I'd love to see him get on a bit of a heater, a bit of a flyer here for the next 20 to 30 minutes.
Well, the hometown scoreboard had 48 on the score for a bit. They didn't think it was 6, it was. Now, has he got enough of this again? Oh, you betcha. Great batting from Jones. Bang, bang. A little bit of pressure on Van Meekeren, who's just started. Maybe a little weakly, not in the same rhythm he has been in. Good counter punch from Aaron Jones.
Yeah, bang, bang. Beautiful batting, the left-right hook. And, well, those fans, that pocket today has been a bit of a hot spot. You've got to keep your wits about you in the crowd because the ball is flying. 56 now on the board. Jones, 23 off 11.
It's definitely a slightly shorter boundary, that one, isn't it? To that corner as opposed to the deep third quarter. Little cutter from Van Meekeren and a punch of the bat in frustration from Jones. Still plenty of time. They're keeping that required run rate, well, not in check, but within some compass at 2 a ball.
You never know, Lenny. Modern day cricket, you just never know. A good 30-minute spurt here. Get that rate to around 11s. A big finish.
I think my point would be, though, that again, one of these two is going to have to get 80 plus, maybe even 100, because of they needed one more dedicated batter in the team, you'd think. Oh, well, he's chinned him here. I think this might have come off. It's come off the glove, has it? I thought it might have been the helmet at first. And Van Meekeren is seeming to say to the umpire, is this not the helmet? No, it's...
Well, maybe a little bit of bat.
Yeah.
It's sort of ballooned away, though, so that would make you think that it's off the glove. But runs have been given. Van Meekeren's been taken down in his first over. And Jones, well, he's fighting hard for his country here.
He just looks a tiny bit stiff or something, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Did see this in the ODIs, where his first 2 or 3 balls, he didn't quite have his full rhythm, and then he kicked into it and bowled at a completely different pace. Gets away with the little off-cutter that he rolls his fingers over the top of. 16 from Van Meekeren's first. The USA just showing a bit of life in the chase at 60 for 3.
Well, you've been talking also a little bit about how it's been a long tour for USA and Canada away from home. It's been a long tour for the Seamers as well, and maybe Paul Van Meekeren just building into it a little bit here. Having a look at the bowling scorecard, Kyle Klein again, just a golden summer, 3 overs, 2 for 11. Dutts picked up the other wicket. Durham's was a little bit expensive for his liking, 60 for 3. Looks like it is going to be a big Daniel Durham to continue.
A lot of comments in the live chat if you're watching on the European Cricket Network about Aaron Jones. He's become a real fan favourite, and we heard Scott and Max talk about the impact that 50-over World Cup has had for cricket in the Netherlands, and you were explaining how they've been recognised on the street now. The exact same thing's happening to those American cricketers after that historic run on home soil that brought them on down to the Caribbean for the Super 8s. As Jahangir goes inside out over extra, that's a really good stroke, terrific batting. Jahangir, he's starting to warm up now too.
Yeah, just ticking a little bit here, USA. And 2 men at the crease have played some nice shots, and the longer you keep it to 2 a ball, 12 and over, take it as deep as you can. You just never know.
You can keep it at 2 a ball for the moment. But yeah, Aaron Jones alongside Netravalkar as Scott Edwards demolishes the stumps.
Well, how do you get a run out now if they were going to go run? You've got to go
Just
run
keep
and pick
running.
one up.
Keep running.
There's an ECN moment. I don't think I've seen that in a while. Scotty Edwards, almost rugby tackled them.
Crash, bang, wallop. Down they go.
That's when the square leg umpire just goes, oh, jeez, Scott.
I think the reason, in fairness, he's done it, he didn't want the deflection for a single. So again, a 0.1%er, anything he could do to just shield all potential deflections.
I can't remember the last time I've seen all 3 stumps like that come flying out, especially at this level. Usually they're pretty hard to get out of the pitch.
Not when your keeper demolishes them. It is a rugby tackle. Yeah, so certainly it was Aaron Jones and Sarab Netravalkar were kind of the 2 poster boys of the American World Cup run. They were the ones who caught the public's imagination. He's a very charismatic guy, Jones, and his celebrations in that Canada win, and then a great effort with the bat too against Pakistan endeared him to the American public. And then I think Sarab Netravalkar's story, well, it cut right across not just cricketing mainstream, sport mainstream. He was on CNN, he was on MSNBC. There wasn't an outlet he wasn't appearing in, and his story of being a software engineer by day and a world-class bowler by night, if you will, it captured a lot of people's attention, and that is sensational. How has he got that there for 6? Gets it up into the wind. Fan not happy with the drop catch. 6 more. Jones really going some.
A beautiful shot. Gave himself a little bit of extra room. Long levers actually, and one hands it over wide extra cover. Well, that was probably the only thing laying us down in the fence. We haven't had a crowd catch yet. There's been a few opportunities as well. There's been little one-handers off the rope when it's flicked up, but I need a crowd catch.
We not get one?
Not one yet.
Oh, I think it was in the ODIs we got one. Slower through the air from Durham. One of the traits that Durham has, a lot of bowlers will tend to go faster when they get hit for a big one. Durham, he often goes slower. He's a brave, brave bowler. But USA continue to just chip away. So if you are just joining us, a very good morning if you're watching from America. A very good afternoon, late afternoon here in the Netherlands. It's 6:20 p.m. local time. Good evening if you're watching back in the subcontinent and India. We're seeing brilliant T20 international action. Best part of 6,000 concurrent viewers right now. All those test matches are over. All eyes here on Utrecht. And isn't that great to think of from a Dutch and world cricket perspective?
Yeah, absolutely. And that doesn't give it justice either, because by the end of the day, look how many clicks of people who will come back and watch it. It'll stay on YouTube. You can come back and watch this a little bit later if you're busy or you want to tune in a little bit. It's going to stay there for you. And
it doesn't include our American viewers on Willow TV and those in India on Fan Code. So, look, really enjoying having your company. We love hearing from you. If you want to drop a comment in the chat, we'll try and get to them when there's not carnage and boundaries. There are a couple of part-time potential bowling options in this team. Michael Levitt is one, Max O'Dowd is another, but it's going to be someone we didn't see much in the ODIs. Vikramjit Singh to bowl a few little medium pacers replaces Paul Van Meekeren.
Yeah, interesting change. Vikramjit Singh, medium pace at best, but got some skills.
Nearly creates a wicket-taking opportunity immediately. Pulled away for one.
Obviously with King Ma's injury and them going in with Dutt and Crows and Saqib Zulfikar going out, they haven't picked an extra seamer, so you will look to find a couple of overs here and there. You're right, I think Max O'Dowd could be a sneaky option today as well. Obviously, Cole's bowled 3 and Cole actually hasn't returned to the field, I believe. So that's something to monitor as well. So there's one over that could be missing. I hope he's not too sore.
Fast bowling is tough work. It really is. Jones goes through the offside. Get a single. USA, again, ignore that graphic. I think that means is Netherlands 93%, USA 7. They're not cantering in this chase. Oh, there it is. It flips.
Oh, there you go. 93. Look, I don't think it's a 7% shot. Oh, it's flipped back again. Well, any of the supercomputers also had a very long tour also. 94%.
Someone needs to get the spanner into the works at the back to fix it up. Jones goes down the ground, gets a great bit of it and gets 6. In fact, it's Jahangir, correction. The way he struck that has been like Aaron Jones, and it's really the first stroke of that quality from Shaihan Jahangir. He had a great start to his ODI career. He's taken a lot longer to get going in T20Is, and he shows a straight bat and treats Vikramjit Singh's medium pace exactly like it should be.
Well, after the 5th over, they were 34 for 3. So in the last sort of 3.3 overs, they've really got this scoring rate going. 45 runs off the last 21 deliveries in this game. And, well, just saying, we're still here. The longer these two stay, Netherlands might get a little bit twitchy.
Yeah, and this is the brilliant thing about T20I cricket. You can never say never. One big over either way can really swing the contest. If you have a big 25-run over, oh, mix-up. Another calamitous mix-up, direct hit. Might have been gone, but it can't be affected. It was Canada yesterday with the calamitous mix-up. We saw USA with one during the ODIs. Oh, he might have just got back, did he?
I think he might have just been safe with the direct hit. Oh, there you go. There's a pretty picture. Oh, Levitt, that's what you call good old sportsmanship, don't you?
Levitt's
that could be a book cover.
Levitt's a great kid, isn't he?
He's a good man.
Like Michael Levitt. Spirit of cricket always on show.
Oh, ICC moment of the year for me.
I'm not quite giving that the nomination. Been plenty of them this year. Now, it's down the ground again, but not quite out of the screws. Kroos fields really well. The first innings, we were seeing the Dutch turn them into 2. That's been a very tangible and noticeable difference between the sides.
And that's a little reputation they've built over time as well. Netherlands are able to find 2s where other teams aren't. But if USA are going to go close, they're going to need every 2 possible.
But I suppose it's a 2-pronged effect. One, the Dutch batters are looking for the 2s in the first innings. They're putting the pressure onto the American fielders. And in the second innings, the Americans aren't really looking for the 2, and then the Dutch, they field so well, they never even give them a chance of it. This is smashed away. Man out there takes the catch. Ryan Klein. Well, Aaron Jones cannot believe what he's done. If this goes even 2 yards either side of him, let alone 5, it's 4 or maybe even 6. Instead, it's a chest-high catch taken, and what a good grab.
Well, he's still on the wicket. He was just standing there for a few minutes because he cannot believe he's picked out Ryan Klein. That was smoked. That was beyond smoked. He hit it so hard. On another day, I reckon that's a flat 6, but not today. And the Netherlands pick up a crucial wicket.
Well, I think with no fielder out there, it is 6. It was hit that well. It was just like a tracer bullet.
He doesn't want to leave, and you can totally understand it. He's actually been smoking everything, and yeah, that's tough. The game of cricket, it tests you in difficult ways, but this was short, it was wide. He got every piece of that.
Well, look at how quickly it got to him as well. The fans loved it. Alongside the beverages they were holding on to outside the rope, and in comes Shadley van Schalkwyk to the crease. He's in at number 6. 36-year-old, recently turned. New to international cricket, of course, as well. Remember, he's got all that experience back in his native South Africa. It's his 12th T20I today. Been close to ever present since he came into USA colours. Wasn't actually initially in this squad. It was Ali Khan that was in the squad, but he is coming in at 6 for just the second time in his career. For me, he's more of a natural 7 or an 8. And we saw him in the ODIs, didn't we? really struggle with the bat, not just in terms of runs, but his strike rates were 30s, 40s. So he has to play very differently to the way he did in the ODI format.
He has to almost do a Scotty Edwards and sort of reinvent himself a little bit and maybe hit it to zones that he doesn't usually. It's not going to be easy coming in when you need 137 off 65, but if he can offer some support, get himself in an early boundary would obviously help as well, stem some nerves. Looks like mid-off and mid-on have been brought up, and fine leg third back. Deep back was wearing a very sort of squared mid-wicket. I have a feeling this could be short.
It is, and Van Schalkwyk has just hit it straight to mid-on. The exact point we're making. They have a long tail and not an easy role to play coming in at 6, and he's been bounced out immediately by Paul van Meekeren.
Yeah, great analytics by the Dutch setup as well. They brought mid-off and mid-on up. They put everyone back deep on the leg, so they almost telegraphed. It's going to be short, it's going to be quick. They might have found a little bit of a tell on him and not feeling that he can handle the short ball well enough, and Paul van Meekeren picks up a wicket, and the Netherlands now really pulling away.
And it's going to be a first ball
Oh,
duck.
no.
There he is.
There he is, the old golden Derek. Aptly named Derek the Duck, and never nice walking off when you got that next to you.
No, Van Schalkwyk won't want to watch that one back. He's just been out-thought there, isn't he?
I know you get around, Lenny. You work on a couple of different networks. And now I think the Duck needs to come back on every network.
At the top.
Growing up in Australia, I used to love it. It used to be great.
I have to say, as a kid, I loved it as well.
Why is it called a duck, actually?
There is, they've done a bit of research into the etymology, which means the origin of the word.
Thanks for explaining.
And it is parts of cricket, even though England claim they invented the sport, predates that. They reckon parts of Belgium and indeed the Netherlands, there was forms of bat and ball games that had similar words. They weren't called cricket, there was different words for them. And the duck egg is where this has come from, a luff, which is the French for egg. Duck egg looks like a 0, and when you were doing that on the scorecard, I haven't really explained this very well.
Oh, my head, Lenny, my head.
But there is, I'll have to look it up again. But there's something to do with the duck egg.
Okay.
And there we are. It looks like a duck egg, the 0 that the scorers put in on the score sheet.
I get you.
Yeah.
Well, we got there.
That wasn't my most, it was a bit verbose. It wasn't my most concise.
You know I'm not great with most terms, but that really pushed me there, Lenny.
But no, it is a good question, and Derek the Duck makes an appearance. Harmeet Singh is in now, and he smashes one down the ground. Thought we might have seen him at number 6. He gets off the mark in real style with an on-drive of good quality for 4.
Yeah, beautiful shot, over pitched and with mid-off and mid-on in the ring. Just had to get enough wood on it, past the sparing hand of Paul van Meekeren, and nice start to his innings. USA obviously not going to give up. They'll throw everything they can here. It's going to take something Herculean to get close to this target. 5 wickets down, well, not at the halfway stage just yet.
Now, in the first innings, I can guarantee you that would have been 2. In the second innings, USA haven't even really looked for it, have they?
No, I think the Dutch fielding obviously a couple of levels above and able to cut what could be a certain 2 just to a single.
Yeah, cricket is thought to have originated in Belgium in the 14th century.
The good old days.
Yeah, England claiming this, and then there are some French historians who say that a village of Liètre hosted the first ever known game of cricket nearly a century before historians have seen any reference to it being played in England, and it was thought to have been invented by shepherds using their crooks with some kind of a ball alongside it. So that was the first. And I don't know if you've ever seen it. If you go to the Lord's Museum, there's a little kind of tablet explaining the evolution of the bat. Have you seen that?
Yes, I actually have.
Where it goes from that very curved, almost more like a hockey stick origin to the now kind of flat, triangular backed bat as we see.
Yeah, maybe there needs to be an evolution of the duck as well, but the duck is here to stay. So 87 for 5 after 10. Vikramjit Singh's earned himself a second over with that wicket.
Yeah, the very first bats were very curved, and if you look back in the 18th century, they really did look much more like a hockey stick, and then something of a paddle, and they've gradually evolved to what we recognise now, although some in the 70s and 80s will say the bats now look nothing like they did 20 or 30 years ago. They're so much bigger, and in terms of particularly their middles and even their edges can fly to the boundary, and they're much lighter in their pickup. The technology has advanced hugely. Harmeet Singh's an interesting batter to watch. He gets it into funny areas. So yeah, I'm going to give you the duck once more. The term is a shortening of the term duck's egg, used long before Test cricket began, when referring to the Prince of Wales, the future Edward VII, score of 0 on the 17th of July 1866. A contemporary newspaper wrote that the Prince retired to the Royal Pavilion for a duck's egg. And the name is believed to have come from the shape of the number 0 that is similar to that of a duck's egg. There you go. Happy with that?
I'm happy enough. You've opened up a can of worms there. Now, can you tell me where can of worms come from next?
There is another theory. So I did get this right, that it's evolved from the French l'œuf for the egg. L'œuf.
Oh, okay. There you go.
The 0. So, yeah, and the Oxford Dictionary still cites duck's egg as an alternative version of the term duck. So, whatever happened, Shadi Vanchkalkvake, whether it's a duck's egg, a luff, or a 0, he's gone for a duck. And that's why the graphic was on the screen, and that's why we've gone down, what do you call those things?
A rabbit hole.
A rabbit hole.
Oh, here we go, not again.
Gone down a real rabbit hole. Live here on the European Cricket Network and Willow TV. USA hanging around in this chase. They need 128 more. It's a long way away, particularly 5 down.
Yeah, 5 down really hurts you. I mean, if you're 90 off 10 and you're 1 down, you're still harbouring on hope of something spectacular. But 5 wickets down, the Dutch Kyle Klein with that early burst. And there was a bit of a counter punch from Aaron Jones before he picked out Ryan Klein at deep cover. Vikramjit Singh's proved to be pretty handy here. 1 for 12 off 1.4. Not bad from maybe a little bit better than a part-timer. They do use him here and there.
Who do you reckon in international history had the most ducks?
Oh,
It's obviously
great.
not something you want, is it?
Format?
Across all formats, let's say all internationals.
Good question. Can I have a moment on that? Can
Yeah,
I
of
just
course
say-
you can. Do you think it'd be
It'd be
interesting
a
to
top
see
order
if it's a
player.
batter or a bowler, won't it?
For me, I think it'll be a batter at the top order because of the volume they've played. So maybe a... Ooh, that's a great question. Marvin Atapatu. That's who I'm locking in. Sri Lankan opener.
Didn't play enough, and he's not even in the top 10. Down the leg side. He might have flicked the pad because it's not given as a wide, and Jahangir has a look back and does understand the decision. 11 have been bowled, 91 for 5.
What about a Steve Waugh?
The top 2 in the list are both bowlers. There is a batter at number 3. Not many in the top 10 who are batters, actually.
Okay, so it is more a bowling. Well, look, obviously Chris Martin from New Zealand stood out. Maybe a McGrath, a Muralitharan.
Muralitharan, there you are.
Oh, okay, it took me 6 or 7 guesses. I'll take that. That feels like a win.
59 ducks.
59?
Across, this is cross formats now, 328 innings, so he got 1 every 5. The notorious off-spinner, one of the greatest of all time. Still the leading wicket taker in Test match history.
Did you ever get to call any of his cricket? Was that a little bit before your...
Not Murali, no, well before my time. But yeah, no, he 59 ducks from Courtney Walsh. I think I might have guessed Walsh. Walsh was notoriously poor with the bat. He is second in 54, but it's a top order player in third. Sanath Jayasuriya with 53.
Yeah, okay.
Glenn McGrath's up there too, 49.
Wasn't he someone to watch? Sanath Jayasuriya. Oh boy. Him in Kalawithana, wasn't it?
Yeah, Ramesh.
Ramesh.
Yeah, he's now back involved as well. Back in as kind of director of cricket or something.
A lot of people go roundabouts after they retire. They find a way to get back involved somehow.
Lion Cachet into the attack. He is chipped down to long off. This could well be the end of Harmeet Singh. It is. And Lion Cachet is absolutely pumped up with that one. It almost was a bit of catching practice. Didn't try to get it over the man, just extended his arms. Harmeet Singh can't believe what he's done. And this American chase is now in complete disarray.
Yeah, it's in disarray. Only his second T20I, and well, it's full straight. And it just gets chipped pretty nicely out there to Noah Cross, who's got some amazing hands. Never going to drop that. And a confidence-boosting wicket for Lion Cachet. And USA, for a brief moment, with Aaron Jones at the crease, threatened, but yeah, well behind here.
And now, this point I've been continuing to make, because you get another look. He might be looking to go a bit more over extra, but he's ended up just picking out the man, hasn't he, at long off. Jesse Singh is in at number 8 now. Jesse Singh in. He's not a bad batter. He's a fine bowler, but you need over 100 to win. And Jesse Singh comes to the crease, and the Dutch are, well, they're like wolves circling around their prey here, aren't they? They're acutely aware that this was a long tail. They knew if they got top order wickets with a big score on the board that they'd be in complete control. This could end up being a real hammering. A T20 win of 70, 80 runs, that's a hammering.
Yeah, it is, and it does have that sort of feeling that it could blow out here for USA. Still a healthy amount of overs to go, but someone's got to try and cash in at the back end. And well, Jesse Singh's made their way to the middle. Not going to be easy, obviously. Have to go up 14 and over. I know this one's pretty much over. And still got to go out there and throw the long handle.
This is a great little confidence booster, isn't it, for Lion Cachet? I know he only got 12 or something like that, but he hit a 6, got a wicket a couple of days ago. There's another wicket today. He'll start to feel like he belongs in international cricket.
Yeah, absolutely, and they are looking at him being that sort of that Ackerman role where you bat in the middle and you bowl a couple of tiny overs with these off spinners.
And again, we keep using this word culture around the Dutch camp, but older school teams 20 years ago, it's better now in the modern game across all countries, but they're such a welcoming group. When they bring in a new player in, he doesn't take long to adjust or adapt.
I think that's a very important trait that the Dutch have. A new player can come in. As soon as you feel settled, you're going to get the best out of them. And so far, what we've seen is in the last couple of years, a lot of players come through. Kyle Klein's come in and just hit the ground running. Hopefully Cachet's another one for them that will hit the ground running. And that comes down to culture off the field, and then to get the best out of the player on the field. If they feel comfortable in the dressing room, they get friendships right away. You always get the best out of their performances.
You can see they're a very happy group, and a run-out chance. And oh, that would have been gone. He hit it straight to the man at cover. I think it might be Kyle Klein back on the field. It is.
Yeah, there's Kyle Klein. Let's have a closer look. Gets around to his left quickly. Bounce throw in. Maybe a bit of a half volley. And Cachet just couldn't get his hands around the ball. That one stung a little bit. Opportunity missed.
I think if Lion Cachet watches that back, he could have got to the stumps more promptly. And if he did, that would have been the 7th wicket. It would have really summed up USA's day, to be honest. It's 94 for 6.
I think Kyle Klein as well, going for the bounce throw, but a little bit sort of half volley-ish. Doesn't make it easy. Good first over that throw from Lion Cachet. 1 for 3, 94 for 6, as you say. And yeah, riding on the wall here, USA have been basically outclassed from the very first ball. From the very first ball, and Netherlands have never looked back.
It's a brand of cricket, it's a quality of cricket that I really think if the Dutch play the way they're playing now, even with this squad, this is without, Logan van Beek to come back in.
Bas de Leede. Freddie Klaassen, who's arguably their best white ball bowler for years.
Get him fit again. Tim van der Hoogten, Shane Snater.
It's ridiculous. It really is ridiculous.
But even this team, let's just say this group, the ones that they have available here and we've seen throughout this multi-format tour, it's a brand of cricket that will push Ireland, will push Zimbabwe, will push plenty other of the full member, the Test nations of the ICC, and they deserve to be playing against them plenty. And we'll leave the numbers to the experts on the rankings, but if they had a really good couple of years here, building into that next T20 World Cup, they're going to be right in the mix of automatic qualification for the 2028 one. As Daniel Dorham changes ends and is hit out towards Max O'Dowd, who gets the tumble in. That hair's growing on Max, isn't it? It's going back to where it was.
Yeah, and I think he's going back to the long golden locks. Good bit of fielding from him. Keeps it to 2.
He did cut it at one point, didn't he?
He did cut it at one point. I think the long hair, I hate to say, it does suit him a little bit. Sort of his thing.
Yeah, the O'Dowd trademark. What can USA take from today?
Oh, good question. Tough, because they really have been under the cosh the whole time. 217, highest score in Dutch soil from the Netherlands is. It's hard to find some positives in that. And losing wickets at the top.
They won the toss as well. They got to do what they wanted.
Yeah, you've got me clutching at straws here.
Strategically, not a lot has gone well today. No, Harmeet Singh bowled well.
Harmeet Singh. That's honestly, I genuinely think that's the one positive. Aaron Jones for those few overs looks fantastic, but they have been really outplayed here.
Definitely a chance for Jahangir though still, because there's so much cricket to play. There's still best part of 8 overs remaining, and Jahangir got off to a very hot start in ODIs, but he didn't really. I think he was actually mentally battling a bit as well with his form and how to score runs during the T20 World Cup, so he didn't play much of a role there. This already today is a career best for him in this format, so maybe just a chance for the man born in Karachi to get, first T20I 50, to build that into the final 2 matches of the series and show that he belongs in this format too.
If he can get there, that will definitely help build that confidence in the dressing room that you've got another player that's in a bit of form.
Chance, no, not going to carry to Vikramjit Singh. Yeah, he wasn't really anywhere during the World Cup or indeed Major League. The hundreds come up. Did play 4 games for New York in the 2nd season of Major League Cricket, MI New York, 3-6-3. And then a few runs against Texas in his last appearance, made 26 there. 50 behind at this stage, Corey. That sums it up pretty much.
I think when we look back at the comparative power plays, it was the O'Dowd and Levitt show, and then this is when sort of Klein and Kroos and Edwards were sort of building, and then Edwards was exploding at the back end to get them up to 217. Riding on the wall here. Yeah, USA, it has been a long tour. They've had their moments. As you touched on, they should have won the ODI games, a couple of extra games there against the Netherlands. And sometimes you play a team that just have the wood over you. It just sort of feels like that. The Netherlands just have a combination that seems to work very well against USA cricket.
I think some of the difficulties on the tour, though, for USA, the frustration Stuart Law will have is some of the difficulties are a bit self-inflicted. Decisions in terms of who is bowling when, what the starting 11 is, how they're approaching it. I know they needed 11 and over. I know it was unlikely they were going to chase this total, but the way in which Manik Patel batted, he came out, it was almost like a cat in a hot tin roof. Every single ball he was trying to hit for 4 or 6, and that's not actually how you chase down 210, is it?
How much do you accredit that to the pressure and quality of Kyle Klein at the moment, though, who seems to have the wood over any batsman in the country or any neighbouring countries that have visited or touring countries? How much do you think that accredits to it, where a bowler who is just at the top of their game seems to be able to pick up early wickets at will?
Yeah, this is going to be another chance. It's big Daniel Dorham who comes in and holds on. Well, I think his heart was in his mouth. There was an amazing hush from the gathered 500 or 600 spectators, and that might be one of the most joyful moments of the day. It was not an easy chance, but Dorham, the big man, gets his 2 hands around it, and it's another wicket to fall, this time to Van Meekeren.
Yeah, well, the big man moves extremely well. He comes in about 20-25 yards off the rope, and there was a hush around the ground. It went miles up, and Dorham, in the end, he holds on to a fantastic catch as another wicket goes.
Yeah, I know what you're saying about pressure that Klein has put on the top order, but he got out to Aryan Dutt, and every ball off Dutt he was trying to hit for 4 or 6. He had 3 boundaries in 10 balls, and then it was caught out in the deep for 14. I think if Manik Patel sets out to bat 14, 16 overs, he'll naturally score quickly. It just felt to me like a scattergun approach, like much of the chase. I know Jones played well, like you said, for 34. And now Yasser Mohammed can show us what he can do with the bat. He's a talented young batter. I would say that in terms of potential ceiling, he could be an even better ball striker than Harmeet Singh or Shadley Van Schalkwyk in time. He does have one good innings to his name in his nascent T20I career. That was down in Zimbabwe, where he helped get USA over the line in the third place playoff there to round out qualifier B, where they didn't get to that T20 World Cup in 2021. He's got off the mark with a couple. Dutch have been pitch perfect, haven't they?
Flawless. Yeah, it's just a flawless performance from a team that seem to be at the top of their game right now. USA just in a bit of damage control. Van Meekeren started his spell slowly today, but he's now picked up 2 wickets for 26. Very good figures also. Yeah, you do feel this could be potentially a 100+ win. I sort of feel a little bit for USA. Yesterday, I thought they bowled pretty well to keep Canada to what they did. They came back well into that game, and then they didn't get the chance to bat on this surface. And the more we see this surface, they were probably well ahead in that game. So, yeah, it just hasn't worked for them.
Actually lost that third place playoff to Papua New Guinea. My memory fails me. PNG won it by 5 runs. Mohammed gets a decent piece of it, not enough to carry to the fielders, but it was a good partnership he put on with Vatsal Vaghela that day, who made 29, and the 2 youngsters were the 2 highest scorers in that innings. It's a very different looking side for USA just a couple of years on. No Jaskran Malhotra, he's now taken international retirement. Nisarg Patel left out for this tour. Gajanan Singh, he's the big surprise. Marty Kane was part of that team too. I'm not sure we'll see him again in American colours. Cameron Stevenson can't get the nod, the fast bowler. Rusty Theron, I don't know if he's officially retired, but didn't play in this year's MLC. He's probably gone too. Power hook and a very flat hook for 6. Jahangir showing plenty, some bit of joy alongside Harmeet Singh's bowling.
Well, he's moved to 37 off 27. That's probably one of the harder strikes for 6 we've seen all day, and there's been a few. He really got every piece of that. So there is a bit of a shining light for USA, finding someone in form. It looks like Rizwan Akram. Just having a look at the umpire there as we see the replay of a beautiful shot. I think Paul Van Meekeren might have got a little bit of a warning here for running down the centre of the wicket. It's 2 warnings, isn't it?
I think you get a first warning and then a second and final. Yeah.
I don't often see it happen in 24 balls for a
yeah,
bowler.
That's the.
I don't think, would have it happened in a T20 match at 3?
Definitely happened in
a row?
ODIs. I don't know if it has happened in a T20. You'll sometimes have a change of ends as well after you get the first or second one. Hope the umpire at the other end doesn't notice as much. It does come wider, the crease, as a consequence, and that one's kept low. End of the 14th over. Van Meekeren a bit expensive. 2 for 33 for him. It's 110 for 7. I was talking with Peter Della Penna during the ODIs, who was commentating with there, the fine associate scribe that he is in American cricket. Tragic. We named, I think it was close to 30 players, active current players, that you realistically could have discussed in contention for this tour that aren't here for USA. They have a challenge that some of the other playing pools at this Cricket World Cup League 2 level don't have. I think for Namibia, probably for the Netherlands as well, probably for Scotland. They know that their 14 or 15 player squad is going to be from 20 or 25. That's kind of where they're selecting from. For America, there's so much cricket there, and it's across such a broad spectrum. Minor league will get going. I think it's either just started or just about to get going. That's the kind of tier beneath Major League. And then you've got cricket in at least 40 of the 50 states. I think it's probably more like 46 or 47 of the 50. You're spanning time zones from the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific Ocean. You've got, okay, some big hubs of cricket in Texas, the West Coast, in Atlanta, in Morrisville, North Carolina, up towards Philadelphia, then New York, New Jersey. They're where a lot of the players come from, but it must be a nightmare to pick a representative squad for USA, because even when you're doing it to the very best of your ability, there's still going to be players who feel like they should be in the mix.
And players that might be getting missed or slipping through the
Without
cracks who could be here. How do you solve something like that? What would be your remedy for the coaching staff or the brains trust of USA Cricket to get eyeballs on everyone potentially that could play for the country?
A lot of the cricket is broadcast. which is great. And
It's a good start.
And minor league in particular do a phenomenal job. I think every single ball of minor league is broadcast, and that's 25 or 26 teams all the way across the states. It's a bit like the top class in terms there's a mix of playing facilities. You know, there's some at world class facilities like in Grand Prairie. This is clipped around the corner for a couple. And there's others that are actually played sometimes on even rollout matting, and there's big efforts to try and get more turf pitches across the country to standardise that playing quality, but that costs money. And the problem is it's hard to talk about best v best, because the USA National Championships is once a year where they bring together 6 or sometimes 8 regions depending upon the format and whether it's the senior men's or under 19s together to play in. Is this going to carry? Yes, it is. Vikramjit Singh is another. He's been very good out there, isn't he? Ryan Klein, another catch made look easy, and another one falling, looking for quick runs. Yasir Mohammed holds out.
Yeah, that combination again. Vikramjit Singh caught Ryan Klein. Good catch, had to come screaming in from the boundary and holds on to it pretty comfortably in the end. As yet another wicket falls, and well, just a matter of time now. Netherlands looking to wrap this up earlier than planned, and a really comprehensive display from the Dutch.
Well, you can't blame Yasir Mohammed for trying. He's trying to muscle that over the leg side. Problem is it's a bit into the wind to the larger side of the ground, and there has been nothing going for any of the American batters really, apart from Jahangir and Jones. Nosh Kenjige will come to the crease. But yeah, and then the geographic challenges are monstrous. They're huge. To get those players together for a national championships, let alone a training camp, even if you wanted to get 30 players together for a training camp, it's hugely costly.
Do you think that's one thing that the Dutch is an amazing thing to have such a small
advantage.
country? Now you can drive from one end to the other in 3 hours. They train weekly together, and is that one of the biggest
Huge
reasons why they
advantage.
grow like this?
And the same for the Scots. Okay, there's a bit more of a spectrum there from kind of Aberdeen, Dundee, Glasgow, Edinburgh, Ayr, where the majority of their players are based. But again, okay, you've got to jump in a car for 2 hours. In America, you could be talking about a 5-hour flight. You really could. And
it's not easy, is it? Look, I know a little bit from in the European scene as well. You do see those smaller countries that get together weekly. They enhance very, very quickly. Someone like a Jersey and what they're able to do.
nice stroke, conventional shot from Kenji. Will get him off the
Has
mark.
the recent World Cup and all the eyes on Team USA, though, helped a lot with maybe funding in the sponsorship world and things like that, so then they can spend that extra money to do more camps and to get more eyeballs in other regions? Has that helped a bit?
You'd like to think so. And we did see some corporate sponsorship at the World Cup, but I'm not sure how much of that's translated to a series like this. I know there was all sorts of very high profile commercial partners involved for Major League Cricket, but again, that's a league not being run by USA Cricket. As Jahangir tries to get it over the man, he's not going to. Vikramjit Singh's having a field day. He's got 3 for Zach Lyon Cachet, takes the catch. He's had a good day. Everyone in orange pretty much has this. Well, it could be a 100+ run victory now.
Well, Vikramjit Singh missed out with the bat today, and I reckon he had a word to Scott Edwards, the national camp, said, how about with the ball skipper? He's having a day out. 3 wickets to him. A nice catch there from Zach Lyon Cachet. And USA, it's been just one of those days. They'll want to hit the pillow tonight and say, tough day at the office.
And one of the few other high points for America, now gone. 37. Jahangir made a career best for him. You look to build upon that in the remaining matches. You don't see many games at the associate level, the elite associate level. We've got 2 of the ICC Men's Cricket World Cup League 2 sides here. So they're the 8 best associates in the world compete in that league for a reason. You don't see many games between those 8 sides that are one-sided. You really don't. And we saw that through the ODIs. Even when Canada looked dead and buried, they put on 125 for the 8th wicket and came back in and ended up nearly upsetting America. This has been a hammering.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where everything the Dutch touched turned to gold, and USA unfortunately just haven't been able to just match them in most areas, to be fair, whether it be in the field with the ball or with the bat. So yeah, it's going to be a shellacking as we get down to the closing stages.
I think a lot of this performance is actually off the back of what the Dutch felt was a poor performance against Canada in the first T20I. And that for me speaks volumes as to the culture around the group. When you can win with 4 overs to spare like they did in that game and be pretty deeply dissatisfied with your performance, that then spurs today. Have they been absolutely perfect? Not even quite, but they've been 9.5 out of 10 today. And against Canada 48 hours ago, they were probably, what, a 5.5, 6 out of 10. It was still enough to beat Canada on that day. But that's pretty inspiring stuff for me. And it speaks volumes as to the quality of leadership in the group culture, the buy-in, the collective buy-in from the playing group into what the coaching staff are trying to do. And that's why the Dutch are playing so well at the moment.
I don't think it's gets accredited enough, the ODI Super League, and how quickly that elevated the players, the tours, the pressure, and the World Cups they eventually got into as well. The qualifier they won out in Zimbabwe, that amazing win over the Windies. Just there was a couple of years here that have just elevated things quickly. As that will wrap it up. Zach Lyon-Cachet picks up a second, and Lenny, it has been the men in orange today.
And it's been the men in orange against the boys of USA. Men against boys, quite literally. It's a 102-run victory. That is, well, as big a win as I can remember at this kind of a level from one side over the other. The Dutch have out-skilled, they've outclassed, they've out-hurried and out-hungried their opposition. They've done almost everything absolutely exceptionally. And it is back to the drawing board for USA in a big way. They've never beaten the Dutch at any point in their history. It looks as far away now as ever with a 102-run win for the men in orange. They have been so good, and they've deserved every bit of this victory.
Yeah, look, it was set up by the batting group obviously earlier, and then they've come roaring back with the ball also. Just a comprehensive victory, and they'll go home pretty happy with their day. They basically outplayed them in every sort of way in this match. And USA, well, they'll go back to the drawing board. They're a good team, USA, in this T20 format. Just not today. It wasn't meant to be.
And those fans, they're already crowding in, aren't they, to try and get a few autographs and a few selfies and a few photos with some of their heroes. It has been, well, a quite brilliant performance by a very well-led group. Scott Edwards, just a couple of days ago, he turned 28. He won't have a better performance than this one.
What's coming up tomorrow? Canada taking on Netherlands at the same time. 4 p.m. start here locally.
It'll be the final game at the Kampong facility in Utrecht before we'll have to pack everything up and get very quickly over to Voorburg. Well, I think USA, look at the body language there of Mayank Patel. It kind of sums it all up. It has not been his day. That is a heavy defeat, and I'm not sure he's going to have the answers immediately. Nice to see Neil McRae there. I know he's involved in the women's setup, but they've probably pulled him in because it's on home soil just to have an extra pair of hands around the camp.
Yeah, Neil McRae coming in, just offering an extra set of hands, and that's sort of that community feel, get everyone involved, and it's been a comprehensive win. It really has.
Yeah, that is what we have tomorrow. What an incredible performance it has been by the Dutch. They have outclassed, and for the 6th time here, it's going to be Dutch delight. Let's get a look at this second innings.
Yeah, it will be Dutch delight, you'd imagine. And just have a look at the second innings. It was a comprehensive bowling display in the end. As well, the Netherlands, they just did everything right. And once again, it was Kyle Klein, Lenny, who has this amazing knack of picking up early wickets. And, whoa, well, we're going back to the batting highlights. Well, I think we're going to talk through all this again. There was a lot about, no, we're back to the bowling highlights. Sorry about that. This was the early wicket. Aryan Dutt coming in, and a lovely catch there from Ryan Klein.
Yeah, and the big moment, the one that House was not pleased with whatsoever, and the reason why, he was adjudged LBW. I thought it was a good decision myself. Nitish Kumar showed with that one maximum the potential that he has, but he was taken. What a catch that was. Brilliantly held by Noah Kroos.
Yeah, brilliant catch from him at mid-wicket. Noah Kroos has just got fantastic hands. Well, the wickets were falling everywhere. Netherlands basically in complete control. Durham came in, his first over went for a couple, but overall, Scotty Edwards was just having a day out with the bat, with the gloves and with the stumps there. There was a little bit of a cameo from Jones. He ended up being caught at point, but he hit the ball fantastically well. While he was there, a bit of a partnership started to blossom, but it was the bowler that's not used too much, Vikramjit Singh, came into the attack and he got the big wicket.
Yeah, he got the big wicket of Aaron Jones to end a 47-run partnership for the 4th wicket. And from there, well, it was just really a litany of wickets. They kept falling. Van Schalkwyk, he went first ball for a golden duck, a golden luff, if you will. And Harmeet Singh holed out to long off. Jesse Singh went soon after, so too Yasser Mohammed. It was a procession of wickets and batters from the USA heading back to the hutch. What a performance by the Dutch.
Yeah, it was an amazing performance, and that was the final one to go. They went for the reverse sweep, and obviously it was already too late. You see the shakes of their hands, a lot of respect between these two teams, but at the moment, the men in orange just have the wood over USA.
It's been altogether one-sided, one of the heaviest defeats USA have ever gone down to in this format. They've been a bit outclassed, a bit outskilled, and I think they've been a bit humbled here by the Dutch, who've been simply exceptional.
Yeah, exceptional. We have a look at the scorecards here. Aaron Jones, 34 off 18. He lit it up for a while. And, well, unfortunately, it's just that top order, a 14, a 1 and a 6. Those early wickets really hurt. They needed someone from that top 3 to click, go on to a big score. And then if that happened, you never know, but it just wasn't meant to be. And the Netherlands, they took out that tail pretty comprehensively, and there are a pair of 30s from the middle order. Besides that, it was all the Dutch as we have a quick look at the bowling figures. Kyle Klein, 2 for 11. He does what he does. 2 for 5 for Zach Leon Cachet. 3 for 16 for Vikramjit Singh. Paul Van Meekeren with 2. And Aryan Dutt with 1. So 115 all out. So that does take us to a close of this one. It's been an interesting game. It's been all the Dutch from the very first ball. Those early boundaries, Lenny, they put on the runs, and then in the end, it was just too much.
Well, Corey, I wish we could show you, because there is an absolute, well, how do you describe it?
The players
mob.
have been swarmed.
They're being mobbed by the fans, and this is great scenes. There are fans getting selfies and autographs, and we wanted to show you this, but we're not able to because our camera team, well, they've come down. The story of the day, it's a very, very one-sided performance.
Yeah, massively one-sided performance. 217 for 5 plays, 115 all out. The Netherlands go on to a massive win of 102 runs, and they're still undefeated in this series and the ODI series. Remarkable performance, and they are just a seriously good cricket team.
Yeah, superb. It's a 102-run victory. They are miles clear on top of the table. Scott Edwards, he may well be the player of the match. We'll have to wait and see with the adjudication of that. We'll hear from those on the KNCB media channels. If you do not follow them yet, get onto Instagram, get onto Twitter, onto YouTube, like, subscribe, do all the good stuff. There's so many good things happening in Dutch cricket right now. Vikramjit Singh, career best figures for him. So too for Zach Leon Cachet, ZLC, we've christened him today. But the star of the show, from me, your final thoughts, it has to be Eddie, the Eagle Edwards. It's Edwards 2.0.
2.0, baby. I've never seen Edwards bat that well over the offside, and he'll be very happy indeed. Overall, a magnificent day of cricket. A lot of thank yous to the production crew, Spring Media, and everyone around the ground. We had a crazy storm yesterday. A big thank you to everyone that helps us get all this action on. And we're back again tomorrow, Lenny, because it's Canada taking on the Netherlands.
Yeah, one final game from here in Kampong in Utrecht. We want to thank you so much for watching along and having all your comments and support here on the European Cricket Network. If you haven't subscribed yet on YouTube, give that subscribe button a click. We're going to see you again tomorrow. It's the same. It's not the same time. It's a different time. It's 2 hours earlier. 2 p.m. local time. That will be starting. So do make that adjustment in your viewing schedule. The end result here: the Netherlands, they win by 102 runs.